Alright. Hello.
Come back.
I've just been hearing complete silence.
Oof.
Me alone in my own thoughts. Which is usually not a good thing, but whatever.
That's annoying. Just let me know when things are back up.
Alright, where were we? I
You were
think we just
starting.
wrapped up.
No, you were just starting
Uh,
off board power.
Alright. So off-board power. A bit more difficult than on-board power. Because you need to do all that same. You gotta generate all your power, all your energy, all your jolt. You gotta make it. But then you have to somehow get it to your vehicle from wherever you've generated. And then you have to put in the motor and make the spin to make it go. Now, the biggest problem with that is you've got the extra logistical step, which is extra hassle. And the big question is, why would you ever want to bother doing it? So, as a direct comparison between onboard and offboard power. Onboard power has the advantage of, because you store your power as a fuel, and you use to make spin to make go. The fuel, as long as you have that store of fuel on your vehicle, you can make go and just keep going, even if your ability to get more fuel has gone away. So long as you have that storage of fuel, you're good to go. And yeah, it's also generally, the power is easy to store and distribute because it's just the fuel that you need to move around. Common fuels tend to be pretty easy to store and move around. They tend to be solids or liquids, which can be stored either in a pile on the ground or in a bucket.
Dear God.
Gaseous fuels tend to be a bit more difficult, but they're not too big a deal. And then there's nuclear fuel, but that's its own separate thing. That's still generally a solid, so you need to put it in a special bucket. Additionally, you don't have to deal with all the fiddly nonsense of getting the power from your generator to your vehicle because you make it on the vehicle. Off-board power's main advantage is that because you don't need to put the generation on the vehicle, you can centralize the manufacturing of your power, of your jolting, in one place or a couple places, which allows you to make it more efficiently and with reduced waste. Furthermore, all that waste is generated at that central location, keeping it away from the end user. The driver and the people around the driver.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, the weight of the generator is not on the vehicle, not to mention all the other support infrastructure for that generator, like the fuel tanks, the pumps, everything with that. Plus, anything needed to clean up the waste created by your generator. Plus, if it's a stationary object, you can make it a lot bigger and a lot more thorough. Finally, the vehicle is able to be made simpler because it doesn't need to have all the complexity of making its own energy. You just need to basically plug in and go. Which obviously leads to Que no has dos. Which brings us to batteries, which are sort of like the bastard child of both onboard and offboard power. Because like onboard power, you store energy aboard the vehicle and use it to make go until it runs out and needs to be refilled. Just like a normal car that you put gasoline in. So unlike a wired system where you plug into the offboard generator while in motion, you don't need to bother doing that. Because you can just go wherever you want and don't worry about that. So it sounds like it has the advantages of both, because you store the power in a stored state in the battery as opposed to as a fuel. You run it through the motors to make spin to make go. And yeah, it does definitely get some of the benefits of both: the ability to go anywhere, store energy aboard the vehicle, and centralize the generation infrastructure. It actually is surprisingly limited when it's a good idea, because batteries kind of suck. The biggest issue with them is energy density. The biggest issue with them. This is measured in specific energy in units of megajoules per kilogram. Modern lithium-ion batteries, which are basically everyone uses nowadays, are pretty good. They top around at about 1 megajoule per kilogram, depending on the specifics of their exact construction. This is important because when powering a vehicle, you need to move the weight of the vehicle, which includes the weight of the fuel battery. And unlike fuel, a battery's weight doesn't decrease when power is used. And you've got the whole thing of like the rocket problem. If you put all your fuel in to move up the vehicle, and then you need to put in more fuel to move the fuel, needs to move the vehicle, then you need to put more fuel in to move that fuel, more fuel, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's compare this to some common burnable fuels. Please excuse the wonky table. I had to awkwardly assemble the highlights because the Wikipedia table was like 3 pages long. As you can see, at the bottom of this table, there is actual literal garbage, which has an energy density of 8. Alright? Compared to lithium ions 1. Literal shit is 15.5. Wood is 18. Coal, depending on the kind of coal, because there's a few instances of coal on this list, is up to 35. Your fat ass is 38 megajoules per kilogram.
Down.
Alright? Raw crude oil is about 41. The stuff we usually actually use in vehicles, diesel and pure gasoline, 45 and 46 respectively, though common gasoline mixtures generally aren't pure and have a lower rating, but that's separate. This means that we can fill our fuels with actual literal shit and get over 15 times as far with an electric battery for the same weight. Alright?
Alright.
Another relevant metric, by the way, is power per unit volume.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because you do have to actually physically fit all that power in a vehicle somewhere. And on something like, say, a car or a train, volume density as opposed to weight density is arguably more important. Now, we don't have data for all the burnables, and the rankings do change significantly. In this case, lithium ions top out about 2.83 megajoules per liter. Alright?
Uh-huh.
Well, your fat ass is a whopping 35, which is actually very slightly higher than pure petroleum for energy density per liter. And it's also the same as kerosene jet fuel. Even with that 22% efficient human metabolism, no wonder it's so hard to lose weight.
Yeah, fair, no wonder.
Now, I've prepared a practical example of this, alright? I've prepared a practical example.
Mm-hmm.
So, take your average 170 pound, 77 kilogram American.
Oh my god.
Okay? Take your average fat ass American.
Okay.
On average, 34% of their weight is body fat, so we're going to remove that. That's 26.2 kilograms. Alright? And we're going to burn that.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna assume 100% efficiency, okay?
Okay.
Assume 0 loss. Assuming that, and my math is correct, you'll get 996 megajoules of energy. For ease, let's round that to 1,000. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We can convert this into lithium-ion batteries, which, assuming their best values, which I don't think I don't know if you can get the best values for both categories in the same, but let's assume you can. That is 943 kilograms of batteries, taking up 353 liters of space, aka 0.35 square meters, or about 1/3 of a Minecraft block. Or, in other measurements, 12.25 average Americans by weight.
Jesus
Isn't that a
Christ.
horrifying thought?
Yeah, that's horrifying.
For another comparison, according to Google and their AI search summary, the most sold car in Spain is the Dacia Sandero, famous for being the favorite of James May.
Good news!
It's
the
fuel
Jesus in there is going out.
Yes, exactly. Its fuel tank is 50 liters and it can hold 37.5 kilograms of petroleum and can run for about 1,300 kilometers on one tank. In batteries, that would be 604 liters and 1,613.2 kilograms. So there's fairly significant gulf between those numbers. For a comparison, another vehicle driven by James May, the Tesla Cybertruck. For comparison, from what I could gather, the energy cells alone, just the energy cells in the battery, for the Tesla Cybertruck have a volume of about 150.75 liters, which would be equal to around 402 kilograms in weight for the batteries, assuming maximum energy density values. The total, we only actually have the weight for the whole battery pack, which is 720 kilograms. That includes other things than just the batteries, and the battery pack in the Cybertruck's a structural component, so so this grants it is a claimed range of 515 kilometers. Just look at the difference. It's 3 times the volume, and I'm not sure how many times, over 10 times the weight for less than half the range compared to the gasoline vehicle. That's basically the big problem with batteries, just on the energy density front. There's all the other problems with batteries, because this is all assuming perfect efficiency and 0 losses. Let me tell you, batteries are not 100% efficient with 0 losses. Alright. For comparison, also, a quick note on some non-electric batteries that fill the same role of a battery for storing your power to use to make go, but aren't electricity. There are a few of these, but there are 2 main ones that get used. There's a few. There's, for vehicle use, there's the 3 main ones. 2 of them which see use. These are, well, the common non-electric batteries. You have things like thermal batteries. You've got
solar panels?
Gravity batteries. No, solar panels is an energy generation type.
Okay.
That's not a battery. But for actual on vehicles, your 3 main ones are like flywheels, hydrogen, and fireless steam engines. Hydrogen and fireless steam engines are the main 2 that you actually see used. Hydrogen, when used as fuel, which can be made very easily via electrolysis, which uses electricity to split 2 H2O into 2 H2 and an O2, the hydrogen can then be converted back into water either by combustion or via a hydrogen fuel cell, effectively serving as a battery. Hydrogen is by far more energy dense than basically any other practical fuel source, even petroleum. That said, compressed hydrogen tanks are big and heavy, and even ignoring that, you lose a lot of power running the electrolysis and then compressing the hydrogen, which induces a lot of losses before you can even use that power. Meaning, in terms of actual energy in compared to energy out, they're less efficient than lithium-ion batteries. That said, they do have some advantages. Unlike an electric battery, compressed hydrogen can be moved like any other gaseous fuel, allowing for quick refueling, especially compared to an electric battery. And unlike an electric battery, fueling quickly doesn't reduce efficiency. Because that's one of the main things that obliterates electric battery efficiency and causes losses is quick charge. These factors make it potentially viable in applications traditional batteries aren't very good at, like aviation, military, and extreme rural use. It could also, and this is something in my opinion, could piggyback off existing automobile fueling infrastructure by requiring a small hydrogen generator and pump be installed at gas stations when permits need to be renewed, overcoming the greatest hurdle of new fuel infrastructure rollout. Basically, for your normal car, you could take a hydrogen car, drive it to the gas station, and fill up at the gas station. Except this time you're using actual gas instead of a liquid that you're being called gas because Americans are stupid.
I mean, they're just
Yeah.
shortening gasoline, so that's why it's called gas.
Yes. Fireless steam engines, on the other hand, are like that one I have a picture of there. Right, contraption where you basically take a steam engine and instead of a boiler, you just put a big tank and you fill it with steam or any other compressed gas. Leading to their other name, a pneumatic engine. They are very niche, but they are used to this day. Mainly in two locations. Places where you have a whole bunch of excess pressurized steam or other gas, like power plants. So you can just basically leach off a bit of that compressed gas, put it in the tank, and use it to move stuff around. The other place you see them used is in places where you absolutely cannot, for any reason, risk sparks. Like ammo dumps.
True, because if there's a spark, there's a boom.
Yeah. Because this is one of the few forms of moving stuff around with like a train that involves no combustion and no risk of sparks. Because obviously electric propulsion has a risk of sparks.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some other kinds of batteries too, but not really practical. Flywheel batteries, thermal batteries, gravity batteries, stuff like that. Yeah. All of this is to say that the TLDR is outside of some niche use cases, pure battery vehicles really aren't practical, especially if you want them to go far and/or carry a lot of stuff. Especially since all the negatives I've gone through for electric batteries aren't comprehensive. I didn't even count the losses related to charging an electric battery, especially for fast charging, which even then takes a lot longer than fuel tank. The whole rocket problem having to carry fuel, carrying electric batteries not getting lighter as you expending, meaning you need to carry even more. They do have use cases, but they're not as prevalent as some people seem to think they should be. Moving on. Let's go to true offboard power, where everything related to powering the vehicle is kept off the vehicle and then shipped to the vehicle while in motion. The earliest form of this is not electricity. This was an experimental pneumatic train system. This is basically a pneumatic cylinder was mounted between the train tracks and used to propel the train by pumping in steam from large trackside boilers. This failed though, mainly because it was the early 19th century and the technology wasn't there yet to properly keep it sealed while allowing the train to connect to the piston in the cylinder. While some proposals to fully in-cylinder systems were proposed, none of them got past the prototype phase because they didn't really work at scale. Sorry, Hyperloop grifters, that's never gonna work. Fucking stupid. Moving on. Nowadays, though, off-board electric power in the form of electricity the vehicle plugs into is prevalent. Now, this isn't done with a comically large extension cord trailing behind the vehicle. Usually, this is done by having some method of carrying the electricity along the route of travel that you connect to while moving. This comes in two common form factors: the overhead wire and the third rail. Now, both overhead wires and third rails function effectively the same way. They're just different ways of accomplishing the exact same thing. Power is supplied along the hot wire or rail, where this is where the power supply is then collected by a contact on the vehicle, which is then run through the motor and other electrical systems and then discharged to the ground to complete the circuit. The main difference is whether or not the power supply is and how exactly the vehicle plugs into it.
Mm-hmm.
Of note, trains use a single wire or rail, while trolley buses use two. This is because trains use the rails they run on and their metal wheels at the ground end of the circuit, while a trolley bus runs on rubber wheels on the road can't do that, so it needs a second wire to serve as the ground to complete your circuit.
Mm-hmm.
The two form factors have their own pros and cons. Third rail requiring less overhead clearance and being generally more durable. Overhead lines are kept out of the way of anything on the ground that might accidentally hit the circuit, such as floodwater, leaf litter, or people, though they can be vulnerable to high winds. Both form factors, however, share the same big drawback of batteries and onboard power. Additional infrastructure that needs to be constructed before the vehicles can run, as well as additional infrastructure you then need to maintain once it's built. That said, true off-board power vehicles are exceptionally simple and maintenance-free. Electric motors are very simple and long-lasting, having like one moving part being like the axle that moves in the middle, making the main components that need replacing on the entire vehicle like the wheels and the electrical contacts for picking up the power. Like, for example, a trolley bus will basically run forever so long as it has tires. And like very basic maintenance. Which is, fun fact, why the Soviet Union fucking loved them. The main drawback of true full onboard power is obviously, if you want to go somewhere where there's no power, too bad, bozo. And if the power dies or you come unplugged for any reason, you can't make your spin to make go anymore. Though a common solution nowadays is to have small electric batteries on board, allowing them to at least limp to safety on their own if they lose power. Which is very useful. Trolley buses actually make the best use of these smaller batteries, which also, by the way, gets around the big weight problem by making them small. Because a battery that's on a vehicle like this, you can charge it while you're moving. You don't need to stop to charge. Which means trolley buses can charge up while moving, and then, because they have that battery, if they need to do something like come off the wires for any reason, like either they lose the connection, or they've been damaged, or they need to take a detour, they can just take the trolley poles down and just drive like a normal bus for a short distance.
Mm.
The other thing they can do is you reach the end of the line, pull the trolleys down, and then keep going for a couple stops past the end of the lines. Or you can do something like run on the lines in one direction, then get off them to run an express service the other way. Effectively getting all the benefits of true onboard power while avoiding most of the shortcomings of both onboard and battery power. You get all the perks basically with almost none of the downsides.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Let's go for some real-world examples of places where I think some of these are at their best. Let's start with true off-board power. This is best used in use cases where you can expect to travel the same route, the same exact route over and over again. For example, rail lines. Trains tend to run in the same place over and over. Shocker, I know.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. Public transit in general is pretty good for this, because even like buses tend to run in like the same place over and over again.
Yeah.
Overhead lines can be fit over major roadways as well to allow travelers to reach short-range batteries on them. So that's like a thing you do. I think this was a prototype somewhere in Germany where they like put up like a pantograph line over like a bit of a highway so electric trucks could recharge on the move.
That reminds me. That sounds like it comes out of straight out of F-Zero, where the cars think they have like no. Let me finish. They have like some sort of battery, and so they can get boost out of it. There's like weird lines on the side of the track where the cars can go in and gain and regain that boost back.
Probably third rail.
No. Not third rail. Is the third rail on the is the third rail always on the train?
No.
Because this is something the vehicles would have to drive into.
Well, specifically because if you look, it's the picture on the right is a picture of third rail.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's a contact along the side that you plug into either on the top or on the side. And then if it's got like some kind of battery for the boost, you charge it up with that, and then when you get off it, you just pull like the little contact back in, and you can just use the boost whenever.
Okay.
Because actually, the way third rail vehicles actually tend to do like level crossings and stuff is they just stop the third rail before the crossing and reconnect to it afterwards, using like the length of the train to connect to both ends.
Hi, Wong. Took about this long
That-
to realize, but also kind of just came back from a shower, so... Oh, welcome in. Meep is, being a nerd
Yes.
over, fuels.
Next up, batteries. Batteries have a limited use case, but they do have good use cases. They're best for short-range vehicles with unpredictable and/or all-encompassing routes. Urban automobiles are a prime example, but also single-person vehicles for which dedicated infrastructure is just unfeasible, like e-bikes and electric wheelchairs.
Uh-huh.
Local distribution trucks, postal vehicles also fit in this category, as do school buses. School buses are actually a near-perfect use case for battery electric systems, because they need to travel a decent but not exceptionally long distance, all over the place, on routes that aren't necessarily consistent. Additionally, unlike standard public transit buses, school buses aren't running constantly. Baked into their route is downtime where they're stopped, which gives them time to plug in and slowly charge back up.
Which is, you know, when the kids are in school.
Yeah. Slower charging is more efficient than fast charging. Which is the thing, when people are trying to do like fast charging nonsense for battery buses, it's like, congratulations, you've just wasted 50% of your electricity. Well done.
Idiot.
Fucking bozo. Non-electric batteries like hydrogen come into their own when you're looking at traveling longer distances between locations with dedicated infrastructure such as ports or different cities, but where that interim travel doesn't have that infrastructure. Or in other niche use cases like with the aforementioned pneumatic locomotives. Like, for example, if you've got like a boat and you need to go from point A to point B with your boat, you can't exactly run overhead lines for your boat.
Yeah.
So you could use hydrogen, very energy dense. You can quickly charge up your quote-unquote battery at either end. Yeah. Good. Also, it's also good use case for like combat vehicles, because battlefields tend to be devoid of things like reliable infrastructure.
I mean, yeah, no shit.
I don't think you can't run a tank off of third rail power. It's not gonna work. And the energy density of batteries just isn't there. But hydrogen could work. Finally, we have full onboard power. Now,
Glories.
Yes, this comes into their own in places where infrastructure is unreliable and loads are heavy, but conditions are ill-suited for attempting to construct infrastructure to facilitate any form of off power. Because, like, for short distances without very much load, electric is good for batteries. For long distances with heavy loads, overhead lines or third rail is very good. But if you need to go a long distance with a heavy load without infrastructure, you do have to use that the onboard power, the internal combustion engine.
Mm-hmm.
The obviously combat vehicles also make extensive use of this because, you know, battlefields are devoid of infrastructure, and this sort of fuel is easier to move than hydrogen. The other main use case is rural industrial applications where the construction of permanent infrastructure is impractical and batteries simply won't do. For example, logging. You can't exactly run catenary wires around a forest, and big heavy loads don't play well with battery life. As such, the energy-dense, relatively light, and relatively simple to store fuels of the internal combustion engine are likely to remain the best option for the foreseeable future. That said, pure internal combustion engines, in an efficiency stance, suck.
Don't you have... Okay, real quickly, isn't diesel better for these kinds of situations because you need more torque to push these heavy loads instead of just pure power?
Diesel versus gasoline is... I don't have the exact pros and cons of each fuel type off the top of my head.
No, it's like, I'm pretty sure I've looked this up before. For these kinds of like heavier, that's the reason most trucks nowadays are being made, like trucks and other heavy.
According to Google's AI overview, diesel fuel provides better fuel economy and more torque for heavy loads, while gasoline offers better horsepower, higher RPMs, and quicker acceleration for light vehicles.
Exactly. So that's why, for example, tanks.
Diesel engines also tend to be mechanically simpler, which is good for these heavy vehicles where you tend to have to maintain them yourself.
Yeah. It's also the reason why tanks started moving from actual, like, regular gasoline to diesel. Pretty sure around World War II there were starting to be some tanks with diesel instead of gasoline, because it gives you much more torque to move this incredibly heavy vehicle, and it's just generally a better, and it's more, efficient for the vehicle.
Most tanks in World War II were gasoline. The Soviets used diesel, but they mainly used it because diesel has a lower freezing point.
Also that, but still, it started on World War II instead of,
Nowadays, most tanks tend to be diesel, though the American Abrams can run either diesel or gasoline in the same engine.
So they're hybrid.
That's
because they...
No, hybrid's a completely different thing. Hybrid, when you talk about a hybrid vehicle, is a mix of both gasoline and electricity.
I was about to...
Oh, I made more so the word, but I can't... Okay, what are they called then?
But
what are they called then?
Mixed fuel engines.
Mixed fuel engines.
Okay, so they have their own name. Okay, I thought they also count as hybrids because it's a hybrid.
No. The thing about hybrid itself, it's not that it's two different things that can be used. It's two things used in tandem. For example, a Prius is a hybrid vehicle, but because it generally wants to run with both the electric motor and the gasoline motor, but in theory it could run on one of each, but it's running at severely limited power.
Not necessarily.
It is though. Most of the time it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Prius, but for example,
it was an example because it's a hybrid.
Another example is American freight locomotives for trains. They are diesel-electric locomotives, which is a hybrid system, where you have your big diesel engine, which is run at a consistent, highly optimal RPM for best performance and a fuel efficiency, which is used to run an electrical generator, which is used to produce electricity to power the wheels. Electric motors are actually really good for heavy loads because they have a bajillion torque.
Yeah, exactly. What you want for heavy loads is torque, because torque is what basically pushes the weight of the vehicle forward, and horsepower is just the raw number, I suppose you could say.
Yeah.
Wait, what is it called? Torque?
It's a unit of measurement.
Yeah, it's a unit of measurement. It's usually measured in newtons, I think it is.
I think. I'm not sure.
How is it spelled?
Torque. 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 If you wanted, I can.
It's the rotational analog of linear.
Writing it down is better.
There we go. Torque.
The hybrids, though, are like just better for efficiency, especially for big, heavy things like big trucks and trains.
It's that. Okay, because I absolutely didn't understand what exactly torque was, but I need to Google it in German. Now I know what it means.
This is because you can have a relatively small internal combustion engine, which is, as mentioned, able to run at its ideal speed and RPM for efficiency, which you then power an electric motor, which you then charge like a little battery, which you then use to power your electric motors, which you use to actually drive the wheels. Which also has the advantage of being like arguably mechanically simpler because you don't need to, especially on like big trucks, because big trucks have obnoxiously complex gearboxes.
Are they actually complicated?
If I recall, truck gearboxes have like half gears.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They have like 10 gears, and sometimes they have like 10 gears and like a few half gears. It's really complicated. A truck's...
A big rig truck, according to Google, a big rig can have anywhere from 8 to 20 gears, with 10, 13, and 18 being common.
Hey, okay. Holy shit.
Yeah. And it also means you have to shift like every like 100 revs or something, which means you're basically never at your optimal RPM for efficient running, which means you burn a whole bunch of extra fuel just from waste. But if you can just run constantly at your ideal RPM and then have everything sorted out by the electrical system, you're far more efficient, while having the extra benefit of all that electric torque. Which is why that's the system used in modern diesel locomotives. Because originally there was like a whole bunch of different kinds of diesel locomotives. There's diesel mechanical, there's diesel hydraulic. There's a whole bunch of stuff, but everyone settled on diesel electric because it was just better and simpler. But they don't do that for trucks. Well, I say they don't do that for trucks. I'm actually aware of there is a Canadian startup that is making a diesel electric semi-truck.
Okay.
Which, you know, is something that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and they call themselves Edison Motors. After Thomas Edison, because fuck you, Tesla.
Not Tesla not Tesla the creator, Tesla the company.
Nikola Tesla, yeah.
Oh, both of them. They intentionally were doing it off both of them because they apparently started it after they saw the Tesla Cybertruck and were like, not the Cybertruck, the Tesla semi-truck reveal, and they're like, I don't think that'll work.
Surprise, surprise.
Because the other problem with trucks too, especially for batteries, is like, if you don't have range, you have a whole bunch of batteries that are really heavy. And trucks have this called like maximum loading limits, where they're only allowed to be so heavy. And if you have to put like half of your maximum weight into batteries, you can't carry anything.
Yep.
I know Edison Motors actually has like a YouTube channel where they like show off the stuff they make, because I've seen it in my recommendeds. I've watched a few of their videos.
Neat.
Recently, they had a problem where like the Canadian government had like some regulation where it's like they're having a problem with like actually getting like the thing certified because of like the way the regulation was worded.
Damn, that's unfortunate.
You know, basically they've been basically trying to get their local representative to help them and like get like an exception for them, because it's like something with like the efficiency. You have to have like a certified and thing for efficiency, and like because it's technically being used as a generator, they can't use like none of things like certified for that. That's the problem. They don't have, because they're a little startup, they don't have the money to certify it themselves, which sucks because it's like good. So you're getting all the power benefits and a lot of the efficiency benefits of electric without having to do all the extra infrastructure stuff, which for logging you like can't do.
Yeah.
You're not gonna run electrical lines through a forest. That's not gonna work. And batteries won't work because you have to carry 5 billion pounds, 5 million miles.
Yep.
And battery will just die instantly. It's just not gonna work. But yeah, that's basically the TLDR. Is if you're gonna go over the same ground a whole bunch, put up the infrastructure for like plugging into the wire. If you're gonna have to go around a whole bunch, but you're not going very far, batteries can work. If you're gonna need to go very far and you can't put up your infrastructure and you need to move around a whole bunch, get like a hybrid.
Okay.
And that'll fill like 99% of use cases for vehicles.
Yep. That makes sense.
Thus concludes the first ever episode of the TISM.
Presented over, like, I believe 50 minutes.
Yeah, well...
It was
Congratulations. Yeah, far longer.
But with that, there is one last thing in Idea Box.
Which is?
It's the Ukraine and Russia nonsense.
Oh boy.
To start us off, we have the kind of like post Trump Putin meeting stuff, where Trump spent the weekend retweeting people advocating for Ukraine to give up territory for peace. Trump and Zelensky had a meeting where a bunch of EU leaders showed up to support Zelensky. Zelensky opened the meeting with an absolute power move. Zelensky opened the meeting by giving Trump a card for the First Lady of the U.S. from the First Lady of Ukraine, thanking her for her support on the issue of Russia abducting Ukrainian kids.
Yeah, that's a
so basically, Zelensky opened the meeting by going to Trump, "Hey, my wife wants to. Me and my wife want to thank your wife for like having our back on this like really awful issue because Russia's a bitch."
Yep.
Also, last time Zelensky and Trump had a meeting in the White House, we didn't go very well. One of the things for that was Marjorie Trader Greene's boyfriend, who's a quote-unquote journalist, who somehow was at the meeting as a journalist, who last time was like, "Why aren't you wearing a suit?" This time apologized to the now suit-wearing Zelensky over that incident. Otherwise, basically nothing happened. It was a bit of a nothing burger. JD Vance kept his big fat mouth shut.
Oh my god, thank fuck.
Thank God.
Because there's a whole bunch of European leaders who were there with Zelensky, basically doing an intervention for Trump.
Thank you again.
After the meeting, Trump publicly acknowledges that Putin may not want a peace deal.
Okay, can I just really quickly... This is something that's been bothering me for really long time since this whole Ukraine-Russia thing. How many times did he say that? Because this isn't the first time Trump said that.
A lot. No, it's like the fourth time.
That Trump thinks Putin may not want peace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time he said it officially.
I'm pretty sure...
Okay, what's the difference? He did say, like, maybe Putin doesn't want peace. That's something he said before for sure.
The point is, someone's finally beaten it into his skull. His big, fat, stupid skull. That Putin's been playing him like dollar store kazoo he is.
I love that fucking... what's it called? That fucking... metaphor. Like the cheap store.
It's not playing him like a fiddle. Fiddle takes skill to play. He's a cheap dollar store kazoo. In other news, there was an unexpected development. Not really to do with Ukraine at all, but this did happen. Russia had a big thing where they put one of their Kirov-class missile cruisers back to sea.
Oh?
This is a really big missile cruiser that Russia wants you to call a battle cruiser. It's not a battle. The thing is, this is the Admiral Nakhimov is the ship. This is the first time it's been to sea since the fall of the Soviet Union.
Oh.
Because when the Soviet Union fell and Russia's like, damn, we don't have the money for... So they stuck it in a bay and forgot about it for 20 years. At which point they then decided, we need to fix this up and return to service because the Kirov we do have in service is old. So in 2008, they decided they were going to repair it and get it back into service. It is now 2025. It has been in constant refit since 2008. Probably at least 2/3 of the money has been embezzled. and it is now out to sea.
Finally.
Doing
How
like
long?
showing it.
How long do you think until it gets sunk?
Oh,
Well,
do you mean caused it a disaster?
Not in the Black Sea. It's not in the Black Sea. That said, this is a Soviet vintage giant missile cruiser powered by a pair of nuclear reactors
Okay, yeah, okay.
that are Soviet vintage.
Yeah, okay. Okay, disaster is about to strike, brother.
I too am looking forward to nuclear power being set back another 20 years.
Ah, nice.
But yeah, Russia's been showing off how big and scary this thing is, and like, oh. I like to point out, America also has cruisers from like that time. And basically how those work is the Navy goes, Congress, please let us get rid of them. They're so old. They're so old. Let us get rid of them, please.
And Congress is
Meanwhile,
like,
and Congress is like, no, keep them in service. Refit them to keep them in service. Also, why is it costing you so much money to refit them? Why do you keep throwing money into the infinite money hole? Why are you doing this? Because you told us to, Congress, please let us get rid of it. No, you put so much money into it. You need to finish it. Sunk cost fallacy.
Oh god.
Congress, please.
Congress, please.
We're gonna get like 3 years more service out of it. It's costing us like $2 billion. Please.
Nuh-uh.
Too much money already in it.
Russia over there is like, yeah, we're bringing them back to be the flagship of our navy.
Till it blows up.
Yeah.
In spectacular fashion.
I mean,
yeah, in a very disastrous fashion.
It carries a lot of missiles, assuming that it's actually been stocked with missiles, which is questionable.
Stocking with donkeys.
Anyway, Russian troops in the aftermath of the Putin-Trump meeting, were seen doing like a little propaganda shoot where they were driving around in a captured M113 with a cope cage on it, flying on one side the Russian flag and on the other side the American flag. Because the Russians know they're playing America like a cheap kazoo, its president. Anyway, in other news, a Russian drone damaged 3 buildings 68 miles inside of Poland.
What?
A Russian
really
drone flew into Poland for 68 miles before crashing into a small village and damaging 3 buildings.
Damn.
Casualties?
Luckily, no one was hurt. But Poland is understandably fucking pissed.
If they really want the death sentence, like, bro, like, don't wake up Poland.
Russia's official response is to basically blame Ukrainian electronic war.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. But, yeah. That's how that's going. In other news, Russia and Belarus are preparing an exceptionally large military exercise in Belarus, right next to the Suwalki Gap. Which, if you don't know what that is the gap between Belarus and Kaliningrad. This has led some to worry that this build-up for a military exercise may be a prelude to an invasion of Poland and NATO. To try and, as Russia's long wanted to close the Suwalki Gap. And it's generally seen as NATO's like weakest point because it's like really thin. And if cut off, it would cut off the Baltics from the rest of NATO. At least overland.
Yeah, and that would mean much easier time, going in there and conquering it.
Yeah.
Or at least attempting it.
Yeah, attempting it. Good luck. Good luck, Russia. You're still getting your ass beat.
That is like literally on, like, bro. If they try to invade Poland. They are going to be executed. I should say how it is.
Poland drives Russia back to the Urals.
Bro, like they waited for this moment. If they do that, they literally, yeah, finally you've come.
Yep.
Now go back to your fucking
that
mountains.
World War III.
Finally,
Yeah,
a worthy
that's true.
opponent. Our battle will be legendary.
In other news, Ukraine successfully managed to encircle a Russian salient on the line, encircling an entire battalion of Russian soldiers. Which, if you don't know, a battalion is between 300 and 1,000 men.
That's a lot of men.
Which is a lot of dudes. And yeah, Ukraine's basically all killed and captured these.
What?
Because they got encircled.
Oh. Damn.
They got cut off in the bit where the salient is the bit in the front line where it's like pushing forward into the other guy's line. Ukraine came in behind them and cut that off, so they were encircled, and they basically went into last stand mode and have probably by now been all captured or wiped out.
That's what you love to see in Hearts of Iron 4.
In other news, a picture surfaced of a new Ukrainian heavy TV kamikaze drone, where they took one of these big, I think it was a hexacopter, a six-propellered, six-rotor copter, and they literally just like zip tied to the bottom of this a 155mm artillery.
Goddamn.
Just big ass artillery shell as the explosive, just wholesale.
Hey, doesn't it smell like 150mm artillery?
Hey, is that a mosquito or is that the live leak watermark?
Is that a bird? Is that a plane? No, it's Lockheed Martin.
No, no, it's the armed forces of Ukraine. Imagine telling like a random private from the Global War on Terror, 20 years ago, that in 20 years the IEDs will fly and have 20-round magazines.
You know what I'm also thinking of? I imagine like the fucking da 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 da. I think it's the Flight of the Valkyries. I think it's the
Flight
name
of the Valkyries, yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that with like a half dozen Ukrainian Ukrainian drones flying into Russia.
In other news, the citizens of the Russian city of Vladivostok have been crippled by crippling fuel shortages with huge lines for gas stations. Because Russia, a petro-state, has run out of gasoline.
Yikes!
Yeah, whip.
How?
By wasting it all on war.
No, it's because Ukraine keeps blowing up all the oil refineries.
Also that. And probably money used to like, repair the oil refineries have been embezzled.
Yeah. But between all the investment, it's been fairly consistent. 15 to 20% of Russia's oil refineries have been down for the past like month because Ukraine keeps bombing them. It
really does feel like it's not Russia who started attacking. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, by the way. For anyone wondering,
no,
it really does feel like
what you mean.
The way that Ukraine is beating Russia to the ground, it feels like it's the like reverse. It feels like it should.
Yeah, like they are the offense.
It's like how Japan did a surprise on Pearl Harbor, and then Tokyo got burnt to the fucking ground.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the Japanese couldn't fucking touch mainland America ever. They did like they dropped like 2 bombs in a forest, which set a fire so small it was extinguished by the rain. That's the extent of Japanese attacks on the US mainland in World War II. Meanwhile, Tokyo is gone.
Reduced to atoms.
No, reduced to ash.
When the defenders are actually offensive.
Yeah. America figured out how to launch bombers from aircraft carriers to attack your mainland on the far side of the Pacific. It's not our fault, Japan. You're just a bitch ass motherfucker. Anyway, you know the news this week, in the west of Ukraine, Russia destroyed a electronics factory that made things like coffee makers and toasters. However, the reason this is notable is this was an American-owned factory.
Oh. Oh, they fucked up. Oh,
this is the first direct. Yeah, this is the first direct and specific attack on U.S.-owned infrastructure in Ukraine by the Russians.
Oh,
in the aftermath of the strike, Trump put out a tweet in which he criticized Joe Biden for not letting Ukraine attack Russia back, saying they need to do that if they want to win.
Bitch, you're the president of you're the president of the United States, not Biden.
Please just
leave Biden alone. Bro. Jesus Christ. Like we know there's a lot of
Joe Biden was very much like Ukraine. Don't do anything that'll piss Russia off too much. Because Joe Biden, while he was good at giving Ukraine stuff, was also a bit of a bitch ass motherfucker on like letting Ukraine do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, Jesus.
Next up, Ukraine once again burnt a Russian fuel train in Crimea to the fucking ground for the third time in the same exact spot in the last 2 weeks.
Man, this really works. Never change a running system.
Funny thing about trains, they tend to go over the same bit of ground.
Yeah.
Ukraine has continued to raise Russian fuel storage and fuel refineries. The Russian foreign minister makes a statement that functionally singles an end to the attempt at peace talks.
Man, that was a long time, bro.
And finally, Ukraine unveiled a brand new piece of technology. They have unveiled a domestically produced cruise missile with a range of 3,000 kilometers.
So you're telling me the guys on the other side of Russia should be scared?
Well, not the far side of Russia, but they can hit basically the
They can hit Moscow, right?
Yes, with something more advanced than their intercontinental ballistic Cessna.
Basically, the thing, if you can hit Moscow, you hit basically most of Russia.
Yeah,
basically. Which is up.
Basically, the theory I've been seeing is Ukraine's probably going to amass a bunch of these, and then probably bring down the Crimean Bridge once and for all.
Oh my, that will be big.
The Crimean Bridge is, I assume, the only way that they've gone. The Russians are mainly trying to get into Ukraine through there, right?
The Crimean Bridge, which is over the Kerch Strait, connects mainland Russia directly to Crimea.
Yeah.
Because the only other way is either by ferry or through occupied Ukraine.
Uh-huh.
Means they will have a far harder time if the fucking bridge finally collapses.
And the bridge was also like one of Putin's pet projects.
Oh.
Which Ukraine has bombed. Ukraine's bombed it a few times, but basically a lot of people are expecting Ukraine's going to use these to just bring it down.
Yeah, if they bring something down that is like considered a pet project by the president of Russia, that's gonna be a hard blow.
The other thing is this would allow them to strike basically every airfield that's being used for anything that isn't a strategic bomb. This would, I'm pretty sure, give them room, enough range. They could strike like the port of the Arctic Fleet. They could strike Vermont with this, I'm pretty sure.
Holy shit.
It's basically a replacement for their intercontinental ballistic Cessna.
Finally fucking end the Russian fleet, bro. The fucking Russian Navy just fucking end it before they end themselves.
Hilarious. It's the pinnacle of like the Russian air defense is the fact Ukraine has multiple times got like full just Cessna little single engine, piston engine little planes, filled them full of explosives and just flown them over Russia. Like just a full plane.
Yeah,
and used it like a big giant drone. Yeah. Fucking hilarious.
I love the saying of like intercontinental ballistic Cessnas. Because you look at a Cessna and you're like, that cannot be used for war. Ukraine cracks knuckles. Alright, let me show you.
Cessna actually has built warplane.
Yeah, I
Oh,
assume
let
so,
me tell you
but-
something.
But you don't look at a Cessna nowadays and think of it as a warplane.
The stereotypical little Cessna, little single-engined,
Yeah, I think of
private
the
aviation.
one. I think of the one James May used in one of the specials.
Yeah.
That took Hammond.
it's like a Cessna 182 or something like that.
I don't remember
Like
exactly.
the Cessna.
But it's I love the Top Gear specials. They're all so fun.
Yeah.
And
the one where it reveals that the airplane can't go over the mountains, and James Bay doesn't have the license to fly it at night.
yeah, hey, he tried. Okay. It's
He
very
tried.
funny because most of the time the car does win. I think there's been like 1 or 2 times where not the car won the challenge. Granted, Jeremy is driving, supercars. Like a Veyron,
Usually.
for
Oh,
example.
there was the time where James May won in the car, where it was him in the car,
Yeah,
Richard Hammond
it
on
was
the
like...
motorcycle, and then Jeremy and like the Flying Scotsman.
Yeah, Jeremy was in an old steam train. James
No,
was in
he was-
an
he was in
old
a-
car, and Richard was in a bike.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it is a car show, so.
True.
I mean, I have no idea who James May is, but
Have you never watched Top Gear?
no.
Shame
What
on
is
you.
Top Gear?
It's a car show.
Yeah, why should
my
I watch a car show
God.
if I'm still interested in cars?
Because it's sometimes it's pure comedy. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially
Like
when
Hammond,
it
yeah.
was
Fuel outside Kiev are full 10 years before the Russians.
what?
So, I don't care about
Richard
cars.
Hammond runs out of fuel on the highway outside Kiev a full 10 years before the Russians.
Mhm.
Because that happens in one of the things where it's like they've got the whole thing with the super economical cars and they're in Ukraine and there's like final challenge, run out of fuel before you reach your destination. Destination Chernobyl.
Oh,
Only Richard Hammond succeeded.
damn.
The other two got to drive around Chernobyl.
I assume they put on some protection.
No, you could just they stayed outside of like the reactor. Outside the reactor, you can just go there. You can't live there, but if you just like go around there, it's fine. It's like the whole thing of like when you go to like the dentist and the dentist takes the X-ray of your teeth. And it's like, don't worry, this is perfectly safe. Runs 100 miles, go stand behind a wall. So, yeah, it's perfectly safe for you because you're getting like 3 X-rays. Meanwhile, the dentist who operates this machine like 5 times a day, every day, all year long, is gonna get a dangerous level of X-rays pretty damn quick.
Yep.
Like, if you just go there for like a couple hours, it's fine. But like, if you live there all day, every day, it's gonna be bad.
Yep.
It's like the only place where it's like really bad if you actually go in there and just stand in there is like inside the sarcophagus.
Makes sense.
And that's why it's inside the sarcophagus.
Exactly.
Which so far Russia's only bombed once.
Wait, they actually bombed fucking Chernobyl?
They slammed a drone into the
Yeah,
Chernobyl.
they did.
Yeah.
Those fucking morons.
You're God in heaven.
I mean, we could tell
To
that
be fair,
they advanced through the Chernobyl exclusion zone. We know because we could pick up all the radioactive dust they kicked up. They also had their men dig in the ground of the Chernobyl exclusion zone.
Christ on a bike.
But the next nuclear disaster is that vintage Soviet thingy. I already know that.
Well,
The pinnacle of the Russian Navy.
They're using the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, which is an active nuclear power plant, shut off, but it's a nuclear power plant that was like in use when the war started. They're using it as an ammo depot.
Ah, cool.
No, that's a horrible idea. What the hell?
So now the question is, which blows up first?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah, maybe both at the same time. That would be even wilder.
We shall see.
Radiation shrooms are back.
We're gonna end
With
up
that,
seeing
though-
fucking bears with 2 heads.
Yes?
Wojtek 2.
No, no.
Dear God,
Stalker
in heaven.
becomes real. No, we can actually finally catch anomalies.
It's just,
Actually
it's just,
training a bear to fully work the artillery.
it's
Let's
just
go.
kind of crazy to think that for a long time we imagined Russia as like this superpower. You know, people that should be scared of Russia because it's fucking Russia. And then this happens.
Yeah, but
Like you can tell
Doesn't
that
even
was a
first
thing
time this
for a
happened.
while because of like the COD games.
yeah, because of the
yeah.
COD and Battlefield
The
games.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare is blatant Russian propaganda.
Yeah, it is. Because
Like-
they
like
expect
the-
more from them, but they wouldn't have believed the
Like,
whole
this
shit.
is a
they are.
pattern. This is a pattern where it's the Russia strunk dot meme. Russia invades somewhere. Russia does comically terribly. Everyone makes fun of Russia. Everyone forgets Russia strunk dot meme.
Russia strong that meme.
Yeah, this is just a loop. It does that. It's like they did that when they did like Afghanistan, when they did Chechnya, now with Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chechnya, they invaded Chechnya twice, and they only succeeded because they got a puppet to put in charge, and like half the army to desert to their side because of the puppet.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's
And it's also damn sad. So point don't laugh.
the Russian military's just always been shit.
And now they're finally getting stomped by the Ukraine.
And hopefully they stay quiet for a
Yep.
while.
I hope they fucking collapse.
Oh, they're definitely on a collapse.
Yeah, I like.
They're just about holding on. But when the AI bubble bursts and the Second Great Depression begins, Russia is gonna implode.
Like once again, nothing against the people. I'm not here like trying to like aim for the people, but Russia for its entire history has always been technically bad. Like it has been horrible. I honestly believe it's a country that cannot hold up, no matter what things change. It's just
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
it's just
fucking
the top.
massive.
it's just that. Yeah, it also has just fucking
I will say
its
this,
entirety had dictators,
I'm sorry,
fucking.
remember right.
peasants.
Remember right though, they are the inventors of the modern roller coaster.
The what?
The modern
roller
roller coaster. We'll give them. You know, sometimes we can give them wins, but it usually let's not give them too many.
I think it was them.
Yeah, bro. Once again, they can invent and stuff. It's not compensating for what is currently and has been already done in the history.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
Government-wise, of course.
Okay, now it's Russia basically had the predecessor to the roller coaster. Yeah, these are specially constructed hills of ice located in the area that is now St. Petersburg. Slides are built to heights between 70 and 80 feet, 50-degree drop. Yeah, basically, really big sledding, permanent sledding hills, basically.
Yo.
Meant for entertainment, which then inspired some of the things that led to the predecessors to the roller coaster before the modern roller coaster.
Hog roller coasters. But yeah, no, just in general, Russia has always been like if you look at wars and shit, one of the reasons that Russia does well is A, because people invade in summer, expecting the war would end by summer and are not ready for winter, which is what happened with Napoleon and those guys. You know,
The
them.
mustache gang of angry pinwheels.
Yes. Why can I not? Game, can I?
And it's not even like the Russians don't like have like guns. The Russians had the world's first operational ramjet engine. The problem is the guy in charge of the program, the only thing he could mount it to was a fucking biplane.
Damn.
That was the only aircraft he could get his hands on to mount it to.
At that point,
The
I
thing
don't
with
even...
ramjets really don't work unless you're going at least like Mach 1.5 is when they get like actually useful.
Honestly, it's already like a bad sign for. I don't know actually. Is Russian roulette invented by Russians actually? Yeah, it should be.
Also, by the way, that whole thing was it was that was a Soviet scientist, and like most Soviet inventions, it was invented by someone who wasn't Russian. It was a Ukrainian man.
Ah, of course, yeah.
And Russia
like
said, "Mind Renter now."
Yeah. It's kind of like Igor Sikorsky, who was one of the early pioneers for the helicopter. He was born. He lived in the Soviet Union, but he's most famous for his work as a Ukrainian American aviation guy. The patron saint of the American helicopter industry, Igor Sikorsky, in Ukraine.
Once again, you have for sure a few smart people, but they are sadly like suppressed by the government and stuff.
Also,
they're either suppressed by the government or held back by the fact, they're smart, they're bright, they design a brilliant machine. Unfortunately, it's being built in the Soviet Union.
Yeah,
where you get things like the early models in MiG-15 was like, why are all the wings different sizes? What is going on?
Dear God in heavens. It's surprising to see that Russia has stayed this gigantic without imploding on itself. The way
especially if you consider that there are a lot of different cultures. If you go further east,
that's because Russia's modus operandi is Russification, where they basically assimilate everyone into Russia, into Russian citizens, be good little Russians. And if you don't want to do that, you will be educated in the concept of socialism in one shell casing.
Yep.
Now face the wall.
Basically, yeah. It's unbelievable. Again, it's like when we think of things that happened to Russia in the 20th century, it's not even that far to think about. First, they were in a monarchy, and everyone was starving to death. Then, for a little while,
and everyone was starving to death.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then they overthrew the government, and they were still starving to death.
Just this time on purpose.
Yes.
Tell me one time where it was actually generally a good thing to live in Russia, actually in the wide history.
Great question.
If you were a oligarch in...
Yeah, okay. I meant a normal person. Nothing like oligarchs and stuff.
Great question.
Maybe Novgorod.
It's
but
like
even then,
you really just don't get an answer for that.
The era of the Kievan Rus.
The what? Say again?
The era of the Kievan Rus.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but how long was that ago?
Yeah.
Before the modern concept of Russia.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the point.
If for no other reason, a reminder, the capital, key part of that is Kiev.
Yeah.
Guess where their capital was?
Ukraine.
It wasn't Moscow. It was in modern Ukraine.
It's so funny to think that Russia is... It's the same thing that with, this is gonna be a callback. You remember the English language thing?
Yeah.
Russia is basically that guy with a knife that goes around dark alleys and stabs people to try and take their clothes.
Yes.
And they don't fit him.
No. Russia went and stabbed someone in the back, threatened to stab someone in a back alley, and told him, if you work for me, I won't stab you. All you need to do is go stab that guy over there. And then they go to stab that guy over there and say, don't worry, I'll make sure my friend here doesn't stab you. If you work for me, take his knife, and both of you go stab that guy over there.
Yep.
Someone fights back and stabs both of Russia's underlings, where it's like, well, I didn't care about them anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, perfectly described.
Me with the phenomenal explanations.
There was actually a somewhat interesting thing where there was a period where Russia and China in the like early modern era were like fighting. So you have things like the Chinese tried to siege European forts, and the Russians trying to siege Chinese forts, and both of them struggled really hard. Because the siege strategies and defense strategies were so different, most of the techniques they developed just didn't work.
That was basically this is a strange word. Also the other said, this is a strange word as well.
Because
what are we doing now?
The Europeans like their castles with their high wall that you batter down with cannons. The Chinese, on the other hand, tended to build low walls made of packed earth that would be dozens of meters thick. That even like the super heavy European siege artillery really couldn't do anything.
Yeah, and that's why we got them addicted to drugs.
Yeah,
true. Opium.
Like literally, there are reports of like the Japanese in World War II having problems taking on medieval Chinese hill fort.
I mean, yeah.
The one problem the Chinese had is apparently for a while, the Chinese defensive strategy for defending a siege was to put the cannons out front.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that didn't go
that's actually also something I should learn more about, like the war area of like between Japan and between China. That even started before World War II. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
The TLDR though on the Chinese versus the European sieges is European siege artillery couldn't do anything really to the Chinese forts, but the Chinese didn't have the heavy siege artillery to do anything to the European forts. This is basically the TLDR.
Well played.
So they basically, no, the Europeans didn't figure out the Chinese style of just fire over the low wall, and then blow down the gate. And the Chinese just did eventually just kind of settled on the classic of just get a metric shit ton of dudes and stand in a circle outside the fort and wait for them to run out of food.
Yeah, besieging.
Yeah.
What I love to do in Total War Warhammer.
Anyway, I think that's a good place to call it for the week. Once Jimmy gets back, I'm just gonna call it away. I'm pretty sure I need to move the car because Mom needs to get into that spot to charge her car.
Alright. Yeah, I don't have. I'm saving my recommendations because I still haven't finished of certain games. I want to get deeper into those ones actually.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I feel like actually presenting some media or some game actually probably could also be a thing to do.
I've got a question. Darius, do you want to take the TISM episode for next week?
I mean, I guess what I would do first is finally clear up that Austria is not Australia. Actually, it sounds like a bad idea.
Talk about something related to Austria, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to rant because actually I finally have to get it out of my chest.
You give a brief history of Austria, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to do as fancy with your presentation as I did. I have pretty big experience with like PowerPoint presentations, which is why mine was fancy. Like with I'm gonna say it's the freaking jumpy arrows for the thing where it was the list of all the different fuel sources. That took me like 30 minutes to get all the animations for.
Let's see, I also have forgotten how you actually do GIFs in like presentations. I would have already struggled there.
That was just I pasted the image and it was a GIF, so it animated.
Oh, okay.
It was automatic.
Was it like PowerPoint or?
I was using Google Slide.
Oh, Google. Okay. And is it free?
Yeah, if you have a Google account.
Okay.
It's like Google Docs, but for PowerPoint.
Okay. Maybe I'm going to use that. I'm not as fancy, but still.
The other reason I like that is because I can pull it up on both the computer that I've got Discord on, and then I could have it also on my other computer. I've got the Twitch open on, so I could read my speaker notes.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, talking a bit about Austria would actually be nice. Especially, that would also be interesting, especially like afterward, because that's like, I assume, something nobody knows about, because small country, and we would know history about it after World War II, because they're like, was captured by Germany, theoretically invaded it once again.
The Americans' knowledge of Austria is... Do you mean
Australia? Yeah, and then I'm going to mention it. If
they're very good, they might know Austria-Hungary.
Yeah, to be fair, but...
And maybe the Habsburgs.
Which also is interesting. Because you have many versions of Austria. And I'm always like, I always say I do it more like identify myself with like the current republic, with the Second Republic of Austria. But I'm going to go also with... Oh, this is going to be good.
My country, 'tis elite, Austria.
Nice. Also, so that means I can rant about the Germans also saying we're German. Which we technically are, but we're still above it.
I'm pretty sure Otto von Bismarck told you specifically to...
But what? You cut out at the end.
I'm pretty sure during like the unification of Germany, a big part of that was Otto von Bismarck telling Austria to fuck off.
Yeah, so basically we're not German, okay?
Bismarck said so.
Yeah. He didn't want our idea of Greater Germany's. He did his own. He told us to fuck off. Okay. Then nowadays Germans should shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the difference already starts between the public transport and the
your
quality
leader
of the road.
basically every version of Civ. Listen to him.
Well, except 6, from what I know, because that's Barbarossa.
Oh, true. It's Barbarossa and Ludwig in 6.
Oh yes, Ludwig the Great.
And then the Civ 7. We don't talk about Civ 7.
Yeah, we don't talk about Civ 7.
Civ 7 is shit.
Yeah. It was so shit, if I remember correctly, that literally everyone went back to Civ 6 or Civ 5. Like, they tried it out, we're like,
Civ
fuck
5
it.
has a higher player count on Steam than Civ 7.
That's crazy. But hey, good game.
I really gotta go do things, so.
Okay, yeah.
Hasta la pasta va con queso. Have a good day, everyone.
Take care, mate.
Yeah.
And then there was Asterius.
It's only me and you now. My brother.
Kinda. Hmm. Other things to talk about at the moment.
It is what?
If there are still things for us to talk about.
Hmm. Well, to be fair,
We do have plans for the next week, which includes tomorrow.
oh,
Probably gonna get myself a Switch 2 just in advance for Legends EA. And possibly having an in-person D&D session.
do you have like normal D&D?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually going to
Because
throw dice.
like my first D&D session is currently the one I'm in, and I'm still flabbergasted by what actually is all everything possible. Besides my fucking ass luck with the dice, because brother in Christ, I have like positives in Arcana because I'm a sorcerer. My character is a sorcerer. Net 1. And
Ouch.
I've actually started to slowly like decide, okay, how about like the personality of the character is a bit more, he's a bit more, let's say a bit more confused mentally, like he's still stable, but he's like sometimes very quickly distracted. And that he has not even that much knowledge, because as far as I know, and I've been told to, sorcerers are more like they have a feel for the magic, they have a feel for the spells. They like go off instinct. So I found it quite fitting. So it's like, I have no idea about this, but I cast fucking fireball because it's glowing bright.
That's hilarious.
Or like when he suddenly learns, for example, a new spell like Dimension Door. Wait, I have a strange feeling. Pops up Dimension Door. Oh, this is cool. Let's see what it does.
The last session was with just me and one other person, and in a session prior where we had, I believe, 4 people. I believe. Yeah, we just found a Banshee and it screamed. Nearly every one of us just went down from that scream. For reference,
No.
whenever a Banshee screams and
That's
you can
scary.
hear it, you gotta make a check, and if you feel it, you'd go down instantaneously.
Oh, okay, I hope that Meep is not cooking that up, hopefully, because he's the dungeon master.
I hope for your sake not as well. Then again,
But, like,
you have to have saves, so...
we did fight. We already had to fight. What's called the fucking octopus-looking fuckers.
No. Then...
Mind Flayers. We already had to fight Mind Flayer.
Oh, gosh.
We had to fight also a different creature which looks ugly as fuck, which also can control your mind. By the way, that happened to my character, and guess what? He fucking shot out a level 4 fireball onto one of my teammates, so hey, nice.
Uh-huh.
But also...
And I just slam down.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think it's just magical to just go brain, just be a stupid character at times.
Yeah, but I feel like it's also pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mine is once again a bit more confused. He's not straight up stupid, but he's like, oh, there's a big flame. I'm getting distracted by it. Roll initiative, fucking that wall. GG.
Well, initiative, yeah, just indeed net one. Because that's fine.
Yeah. Jimmy, are you fully back?
So what did I miss? I see Meep's gone.
So Meep,
Yes.
yeah, he needs
You have to do stuff.
Okay, so is there anything else we want to talk about then, or?
We were just talking D&D stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about D&D stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, chat. For those who don't know, I do D&D with these. Well, with one of the goobers on Thursday and the other one on Saturday, with completely different groups.
Yes.
I had dinner. I ate as fast as possible. It's funny.
I hope your belly doesn't
We
hurt
had what
well.
we in Spain called ensaladilla rusa.
What?
There's a type of salad you prepare in Spain for some reason. I don't know why. Don't ask me. It's called ensaladilla rusa, which is in translated. It's Russian salad.
Whoa. Okay, what is in the salad?
Mayonnaise, eggs, potatoes, carrots, and sometimes peas. Like not chickpeas, just regular peas. And you mix it all together, and you can eat it like that, or you usually like put it on a piece of bread and you eat it. You can also do is mix it with hot sauce, which is what I usually do because I've grown to really like hot sauce and spicy shit. When I was a kid, I could not tolerate. Like when I was a kid, when we ate Korean at home, I would ask my mom specifically to leave aside some chicken without curry for me, without like the curry sauce. I've grown better. I've grown to know better.
Honestly, you just remind me that I could actually fucking go crazy about just talking about potato dishes as a fucking Austrian.
Yeah,
Because
you Austrians do a lot of
alone
things
when-
with potatoes, don't you?
when it comes to potato salad, we have potato salad that is more sweet. We have potato salad that actually is like more neutral. We have potato salad with mayonnaise mixed in. So
Yeah,
we have
that's-
few variations. I know I need to figure out what the other potato thing is. Wait.
I mean, hey, if you want to
Sure,
do some next week about potatoes, knock yourself out, I
Eh,
guess.
I would have done in general anyways about a bit of Austria, and I want to jokingly also like fucking finally clear up Austria is not fucking Australia and make joking examples, why not?
Fair enough. I mean, you don't have fucking spiders.
Yeah, first of all. I mean we do have them, but not as fucking
Yeah, but not
have
fucking
it against
spiders the
scary
size
stuff.
of fucking...
We also don't have squids. We don't have kangaroos except in our fucking big ass zoo in our capital.
Yeah, but that's a zoo.
Wait, yeah. No wait, I believe we don't even have wait.
Damn.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't want those fuckers near me. I don't want to get fucking punched.
Yeah, you get it. Let's say so one more thing of note for the Russia-Ukraine nonsense. It looks like Ukraine's about to encircle an entire division worth of troops because the Russians accidentally opened a chasm in their lines near Pokrovsk. This could be the single largest loss either side would have taken in the entire war if they can pull it off. Damn.
Shit.
That's impressive. Again, like I said earlier, this doesn't feel like it's Russia invading Ukraine. It feels like Ukraine is just fucking bullying Russia.
Feels like that while Russia is the aggressor, Ukraine actually moves forward. Like they actually do things that fucks up the other country.
Yeah.
Like yes, Russia is bombing that and that, yeah, but bro, Ukraine? Operation Spiderweb, shooting down various oil refineries, literally living rent-free inside Russian man's head.
Yeah, they've been constantly like, peekaboo, bombs.
Yeah, bigger, and once again, Poland is not even like fully involved yet, because I will say this, except that it will be in World War III, of course, which I shit, but Poland would be the boogeyman of Russia.
Okay, why?
That they will be like their nightmare, because Poland, for like you have to remember yourself in history, they have been fucked up by Russia and also partially Germany, of course, several times. The country didn't exist over 100 years because of a lot of bozos and also Russia. And still, one wound is still the freshest, and that is what happened in World War II. And Germany did at least bit compensate by like giving them money and supporting them, and the chancellors acknowledging, hey, this was fucking disastrous. We're fucking like sorry for this as much as we can. While Russia did nothing else as then, even after World War II, keep them as practically hostages, and now, as the Russian Federation, like trouble them the entire time. Like the hatred that the Polish have for Russia is immense. I don't even know currently any other country that, like two countries that have such a hate for like another one.
Huh. Fair enough, I guess. I mean, if you keep getting fisticuffed by another country, of course you're going to hate them.
Yes. And the Polish people also have a very strong nationality, like the Ukrainian people do.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some Polish memes around.
I mean, yeah, that too. Like the Polish call meme, which, by the way, actually the song is about the person saying their life is shit in Polish. A Polish person told me that. Yeah, it's real.
That's funny. That's very funny.
But yeah, the only cringe thing I believe is that the Polish, like the government itself. Yeah, they are very strong Catholics, and that leads to that decision and that decision. But basically, no matter the government, when it comes to Russia, they want to fuck them.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, good. And that's once again, when they like, if Russia dares, that's the boogeyman, combined with Ukraine.
It makes sense. Alright. Any valve that needs to be valved. No valve that needs to be valved. Pog. So I just need to put the carburetor on.
I'm also currently playing through Cyberpunk 2077. No, actually, with the motivation
I've heard
to like.
Cyberpunk 2077 like started as an absolute fucking mess.
Yeah, it was a fucking mess.
But
like,
it's recovered.
It has been reborn nearly, because it is fun. They have done multiple updates that to actually fix the game. They actually stick with it, and they even made a new DLC, which was also
I'm surprised that they decided to do a No Man's Land, No Man's Sky.
You mean like sticking with the game, or like
yeah,
sticking
with the game and deciding, look, even if it's a failure, we're gonna do what we can to make it at least like playable to a point that people can enjoy it. You know, if they really do want to play the video game.
Well, yeah.
You know, Son from No Man's Sky, he's just like, hey, here you go, have a free update. No, Son, no, I have money. Let me pay you. Which is a meme, apparently, in the No Man's Sky community. Because that man got absolutely fucking bullied for the release of No Man's Sky, and then said, alright,
he did.
Let me just revolutionize the game all over again. Meanwhile, Yandere.
Oh yeah, that's one of them as well. But yeah, when it comes to Cyberpunk, I mean, yeah, it's not that much surprising comparison, because it was CD Projekt Red, which, by the way, is also a Polish development team, so hey, nice. They have done like Witcher 3, which I don't know if you know, but it was like considered one of the best open world games at its time.
Damn.
Like it was genuinely an involvement, and in general, it always did bangers. It always was mostly known for the Witcher games, and they were all good. So it was disastrous, and a surprise that like, oh shit, the launch of Cyberpunk was disastrous, because it was also honestly too hyped up.
I remember hearing people being absolutely fucking pissed.
Yeah, I was one of them. But that's why I was still so glad that in the end they didn't just do 3 updates. They doubled down. They put Idris Elba, the actor, like they paid him to appear in fucking the DLC. They made an entire DLC still for it, alongside the 3 updates which fixed the game and put in the features they actually promised, which weren't there at launch. Then they even doubled down further and invested into an anime called like Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Yeah,
which
I know what Edgerunners is. I've heard a lot of good things about Edgerunners, and also that it's very fucking depressing.
It is okay. The thing is, it's if you watch it in like one marathon, see it as a gut punch, like twice 3. Like, bro, it's insane. Like you're a fucking emotional wreck after you finish it. Especially the song "I Wanna Stay at Your House" is going to break you every time you hear it. Which, by the way, after the anime, they've added it to fucking Cyberpunk 2077, so you can still fucking break down in tears.
Let's go.
Which I already have heard in the game.
Pretty based.
But yeah. But I want to overall, like when I finish the game, because it has multiple endings and multiple styles to play it, I will do that and then also finish the DLC, and then I'm going to talk about the game. But I won't actually do it as a recommendation, like it will be still recommended, but I want to talk bigger about it. It could even be a possible TISM thing, because I want also to talk about its disastrous launch in detail, about how it slowly fixed itself, and yeah, it's like it's rebirth basically.
Yeah, like the phoenix climbing from the ashes.
Yeah, because I think it's a very happy story with a happy ending in the gaming industry.
That's a good thing. not all. You don't always see that happen.
Yeah.
What am I missing? I'm missing ceiling level bracket, which is Jesus.
Also, does anyone here know Dave the Diver?
I've heard of it. Yes.
Yeah, I'm still playing it, and I will talk about this game then in my recommendation in the future. But I've heard you can dive, you can lead a sushi restaurant, you can fish, bro. Perfect fucking game. So I believe it's going to be. I'm going to have multiple gamer orgasms probably.
Gamergasms.
Yeah, yeah, gamergasms.
Well then, I believe that is all of it, or are we missing anything? Anyone want to do a recommendation before we leave?
I mean, okay, I guess I would have one recommendation, but it will be a shorter one. Paul, do you have any?
I do have one, even if it is one that I've done before. I'm still gonna say it because it's just that good.
If it's that good, yeah, you can talk about it whenever you feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Windblown. I just think it's really good.
Fair enough. Play Gran Turismo 4. But Jimmy, it's a 21-year-old game. I don't care. Find a totally real PS2 and play Gran Turismo 4. There's also,
Jimmy.
What?
You said it like that. Allow me to do that.
What?
But Jimmy, it's a 21-year-old game!
I don't care. Consume Gran Turismo 4!
You know, I've played that one Gran Turismo game on the horrible PSP. That was my sadly my only Gran Turismo.
Yeah, Gran Turismo PSP. Again, I highly recommend it for being, from 2004. It holds up really nicely. And there's been recently, I need to figure out how to do it. But there's been a gigantic mod for it called Gran Turismo Spec 2, which adds a lot of it adds more cars, it adds more races, it adds more cups to do, it adds a randomizer mode. That is something I've been teasing the idea to both Chief and Red Mage to maybe do one of these days. Also, by the time we were talking about this, I finished the same M18 Hellcat Hog.
Also, what I want to say are you finished or not? Because
yeah.
Okay, because also what I want to add to Gran Turismo, because I know a fun fact about this. Gran Turismo was that big, especially back then. I don't know, sadly new games weren't released, but it fucking Final Fantasy VII on the PS1 is the most sold game.
I think it's Gran Turismo 2 specifically is the most sold PS1 game over the original, because the original, while good, it's like the amount, the scale that Gran Turismo 2 had. There's scars in Gran Turismo 2 that have not appeared anywhere else apart from Gran Turismo 2. You have shit like you have, for example, things like the Vector 12, I think it's called. You also have a few, like, Italian supercars. You have more European economy boxes. I don't think I've ever seen the Peugeot 405, at least the model from that from the PS2 from that game's era again. Like, I've seen the more modern one, and like shit like that in that game. That game, for comparison, I'm gonna look it up. Gran Turismo 2 car number. How many cars are there in here? How many cars were in? So, more or less, Gran Turismo 2 has 650 cars. For comparison, Gran Turismo 4 has around 720 cars in Gran Turismo 4. Do you guys want to know how many there were in Gran Turismo 3?
How many?
Like 130.
Jesus.
So, the reason why, and this makes a lot of sense, why Gran Turismo 3 compared to Gran Turismo 4 has so little cars, approximately 180. 120 is too little, 180 more or less. The reason why Gran Turismo 3 has so little cars compared to Gran Turismo 4 and 2, reminder, Gran Turismo 2 was on the PS1, Gran Turismo 3 was going to be a title on the brand new PS2 at the time. So the dev team at Gran Turismo, at Polyphony Digital, were like, okay, we can't rush this. We can't just like try to add 1 billion cars because we need to, like, you know, get used to the engine for the PS2. So we're going to shrink the number of cars, like, by a lot, but we're going to make the gameplay really smooth and, like, you know, good. So they sacrificed the car number for, you know, stable gameplay. Which, I will say, while I do like Gran Turismo 4 more than 3, Gran Turismo 3 is still a very good video game. It is it holds up really well. One of my favorite tracks from that game is Laguna Seca. And Laguna Seca is in other games, but it doesn't look as nice as it does in Gran Turismo 3. Because in Gran Turismo 3, the track is set on a sunset, and it looks absolutely fucking gorgeous. To the point that in the Crew 2, there is the Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca is in the Crew 2, but it's like absolutely bastardized. Like the corkscrew, for example, is super flat and not steep enough. It's not a really good representation of the track, but because now you can make custom tracks, I made a custom track with the setting, like the sun setting and the lighting effect, trying to mimic the Gran Turismo 3 Laguna Seca, which I turned into an endurance 30-lap race, because endurance races are funny. And apart from the 24 hours, I don't mind doing some. I don't mind doing them. I've done the 24-hour endurance races before. Reminder that, Chad, we reached the goals back then to do both 24 hours of Le Mans, on both with and without the chicanes, and the 24 hours of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Nordschleife? Is that how you say it, Darius?
Yeah, the Nordschleife.
Nordschleife.
It's already good enough.
I always try to, like, say the words correctly, you know?
Yeah, it was correct. Like once again, that's only the accent kicking in, but otherwise you said it correctly, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that even if it's, you know, in English, saying a German word, I want to say, like, you know, like the proper German word.
Yeah, the thing is, when it comes to Spanish, I sadly can't do that because I'm like, woo, I'm overwhelmed.
Oh shit, what the hell? Oh, so you're here. I was wondering where you were sent.
So I've also checked something.
Uh-huh.
When I've pulled up a list, I mean, I don't know if it's completely the required information because it's from Wikipedia, but still, according to this one, the 4th place is Gran Turismo 2 actually, like for the most sold PS1 game, with 9,070,000 copies, followed by Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 7, and then you have Gran Turismo 1, or it just says Gran Turismo, with 10,050,000 sales.
Yeah, no, Gran Turismo and Gran Turismo 2 are both like hard hitter sales. Also,
yeah,
racing, I will say this: I don't think racing games aren't what they used to be, and I kind of wish we went back to games like those. Especially, I don't know why there's something special about old. I'm not even saying PS2 era Gran Turismo. I'm saying like PS1 era Gran Turismo games. There's like this charm to them. You know, like they look really funky nowadays, but back in the day they looked really nice. And I kind of wish there were more racing games that went less into like the turbo realistic graphics and were more into that like PS1 era graphics. Like they can still make the cars look really nice, but game developers, anyone that's listening to me, give me a low poly, like not like a simulation styled Gran Turismo styled video game, and I will play the shit out of it. You know, I will buy it and I will consume it.
That is why you have like two codes. You have the 64 code and you have the PS1 code when it comes to the graphics, because people wish to go back there, because you have like demakes. For example, Bloodborne has a demake of PS like for the PS1.
True.
Which also looks fucking awesome because it has a different atmosphere. It has a different design, like color-wise and stuff. It's just a different time, but it's lovely. Yeah. It's lovely.
It's a different like, how to say it? It's a different era.
Yeah.
So things
for
were
the era that's
much more different, much simpler. You know, a lot of people nowadays, you know, that is still nostalgia pandering to a point, because people grew up playing those video games when they were kids. So people, you know, want to go back to that.
Yes. I mean, for example,
it's funny because a lot of the things, especially in the Pokemon community, I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant here because it fucking pisses me off how the Pokemon community treats the games lately. Like, I know I'm being unfair to ZA because I personally don't like Kalos, so I'm not that interested in it. But the amount of people that are just like dissing on it, and they're like, oh, I like Pokemon, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, you like this era of Pokemon, and you're trying to hold into your nostalgia so hard, you're ruining it for everyone else. Stop it. Get some help. It's like, seriously.
Oh, like mainly Gen 1ers as well?
No, not even Gen 1ers. Like, nowadays, it's more like people from, like, DS era, which is, you know, the era I grew up in. Like, so many people from, like, Gen 3, Gen 4, like, Pokemon isn't what it used to be. And it's like, shut up. It's newer consoles, it's different things. It's still, I can assure you, some of the games still have its charm. Like, they still have the same type of charm as Gen 3 and Gen 4 do. Fucking Sun and Moon are really fun games. I'm not a super fan of Gen 7. I think it's okay. Personally, but it's still, you know, it's still a fun game. Like, I played through Sun and Moon and I had a good time. The only Pokemon game, and I know I have a bias against it because I just don't like it. The only Pokemon game I can say for certain I don't like, and I will always say that I don't like, is X and Y. I don't like X and Y. I have my own reasons. The region is like the only possibly good thing it has, because the game itself is way too easy. And you may be wondering, again, it's like, oh, but it's a video game for children. Yeah, but there's one thing being a video game for children, and the other one is making the game so easy that the people that want to, you know, play through this,
I feel that,
without plowing through everything, just get bored.
Exactly, but also, like, they say that, but by the way, I just want to give you a, like, there was in the PS2 era, but there were kids games for kid game movies, you know, bro. As a person has played them, as a kid, bro, I've struggled.
For the
I swear to God.
Rules.
Yeah, they all of the movie games rule, especially the PS2 ones, because bro, they were insane.
There were still some bad ones.
Yeah,
like for example, Cars for DS kind of sucked ass.
But like, I don't know currently, like the hunting fever, I guess, like with the beer and with the fucking deer. I don't know if anyone knows it, but bro, that game was actually fun. It was arcade-like. It was also partially shot in one, but it still was a bit difficult. But bro, did I still play it? Did I still love it? Yes.
I feel a lot of times, like game developers, when they're trying to make games for children now, just assume the child is just. Sorry for saying this word. I know some people are gonna get mad at this. But it feels like they think the child is retarded. Again, sorry for the warning, but I have to be this extreme to make my point across. It's like, dude.
It's also such. Does anyone know the movie Nightmare House, where the house is like alive and you have a bunch of kids entering it?
Oh no.
Okay, but like imagine you're like that scenario. You have a fucking game for it, and it's literally like Resident Evil with except. The exception is you have no blood and no gore.
Yeah,
that was basically it.
A child-friendly Resident Evil, fucking brilliant idea, kind of thing. Give this man a raise, you know? Like, be more creative. Again, Toy Story 3 for the Wii. I'm going to go to this one specifically because it's the one that I have in my memory. It was also a game that I got gifted by my uncle and my aunt. So I have good memories from it. It's like from one side, yeah, you have like the you have like the platformer exploration combat bit with the main story, and then you just have an open world section.
Right, the fucking open world section was peak!
Yeah, you have an entire open world section where you do quests to unlock more areas, to do more quests in those areas. And it's just this loop of like dopamine of like, yo, I got this area, yo, I unlocked Buzz, like I can play as Buzz. Or I can play as Woody, or as Jesse. It's like, and everyone.
And I've spent more hours there.
Yeah, everyone in that has played Toy Story 3 for the Wii or PS2, I'm pretty sure, has experienced it like that. They played more of the open world game because it's an open world. It's a sandbox. That was a sandbox game, whether you like it or not. It is a sandbox. And it's a really well done one.
Honestly, this was. I mean, it's not as like you can compare it, but it was basically for me the game before Garry's Mod. Like before I discovered Garry's Mod.
It was like before Minecraft. I had this game before Minecraft, before Terraria. It was like the game that if I got bored and had nothing else to do, just boot up and just run around in the open world, just trying to find shit.
Like for context, Garry's Mod is my most played game with like over 1,000 hours.
Mine's about
once again, GTA 5 is probably beating it if I count in PS3 and PS4 era, because then and combined with.
But even then, you're combining into multiple things, so that makes sense. But like for me, it's funny because for me, a lot of my childhood was most definitely on consoles. So a lot of my PC games, until like recently that I've been, playing way more PC than consoles, like most of them had like 200 hours max. And then I got Terraria, which I have like around 1,000 hours more or less. And then Power World happened. That game has sunk in like a lot of hours into my life, like more than 1,000. More than 1,500.
I just checked, by the way. Like when it comes to your Steam account, apparently you're like there since 2017.
Yeah.
Now, if I compare this to mine,
I haven't had
I'm there since 2013.
Yeah, I have not had Steam for a long time because I didn't have a PC that could for a long time.
Which fair.
So I was very much a console child, and now that I have the joy of a computer, I can play computer games. And I can, share my love of them with the world, which is why I decided to become a streamer. It's like, it's not just the money. It's not about the money, Spider-Man. It's about the Mets. Let's go Mets. For me, it's like, I get money out of this. Great. I would love to make this my job. But, for me mainly, streaming is me sharing my love of video games and what I like doing. What the fuck is this? Yo, holy shit, I can customize? Yo! Sorry, I just completely Roomba'd on here because I did not know I could customize my my workshop, so this is kind of cool.
Just amazed how we've managed to expand like this episode of Roomba, even though I'm still not at my recommendations.
True,
But yeah, what was the main topic again? Old games, I believe.
Yeah, old games.
I believe we started there.
Yeah.
Old games, they will always stay peak. They will stay on top. And indie games, once again. And that's also what I'm going to say. That's why I love indie games, because indie games I feel like are they are so the thing that comes closest to like the PS2, the Wii and things ever. Because creative, they're fucking creative. Balatro, for example.
Balatro is really fun.
Nobody dared that before. Hollow Knight. I mean, it builds onto already concept.
Well, also technically, Hollow Knight was made by a company, even if it's a small one.
Yeah,
technically. Chat, look at this. Small. It looks so much better. Oh my god, sorry, yeah. I'm completely like off tracking this, but now the workshop looks so much.
You're completely Roombaing.
I'm completely Roombaing because I did not know this could happen.
A comment Meep made in the chat: a more elegant game from a more civilized time. I believe he wrote that when it came to PS1 and 64 hours.
Yeah, true. Like that. It's like there's a certain charm to older games that new ones. Some do, don't get me wrong, some do. Like, again, my example, Power World. I know I'm a Nintendo fan, I know I should be fucking... True, but like, my example, Power World, yes, I know, I'm a Nintendo fan and I like Power World. Fucking sue me, bitch. But it's like, there's this like, feel. You can tell the developers are like, trying to make a good game. To make a fun game. Not something like...
also, once again...
I think that's for next week.
Oh.
Leave that for next week. But yeah, basically, it's just... There's something, you know? Something in the air when it comes to older games. And it's not old DVD cases, okay? I know what some people are maybe thinking. It's not the old DVD cases. Which I still... I also was... do you guys have a lot of games when you were kids?
What?
Do you guys have a lot of games when you were kids on your consoles?
I tell you something. When I like only for the PS2, I believe since I can thank my family that they have bought me that much, like over 100 games or something.
Yeah,
only for the PS2
I never had that many. Like, I think at tops for most of my consoles, I had like 20 max. So something I happen to have happened to me a lot is I tended to ask friends to borrow their games. There's one friend in particular, an old friend of mine. We barely talk anymore. Just life's just kind of moved apart. I still think of him as like my best IRL friend, and sometimes we do talk, but it's not as much anymore. But I tended to like ask him to borrow a lot of his games for the Wii. Like that's how I played Super Mario Galaxy 2. That's how I played Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. That's how I played, for example, another one, Pokemon Battle Revolution. Like, games like that were, like, games I absolutely adore that I wasn't able to keep because they were my friends. And I, eventually I would have to give them back. Yeah.
Wait, I don't know. Wait, you didn't have a PS2, huh? Did you have one? I don't know anymore.
My brother did.
Okay, but did he have Burnout Revengeance?
No.
The game where you crash into... okay. Because that was also a very fun game, which also my mother loved, by the way.
The games I remember the most from my brother's PS2 were Pro Evolution Soccer 6, which is a game I've played on stream before because it is, like, my childhood PS2 game isn't Final Fantasy X, isn't big games like Final Fantasy X, Gran Turismo 4, insert PS2 shooter here, or like Metal Gear. No, it was Pro Evolution Soccer 6. That was if I think memories of the PS2, I'm imagining myself entering my brother's room in this house we live in, booting up his PS2, grabbing a PS2 controller, and playing El Recreativo de Huelva against El Athletic Club de Bilbao in Pro Evolution Soccer 2, and just playing football with those two teams, playing as.
Estás hablando
Yeah.
altísimo. Y tu hermano
It was a fucking
trabaja
great time.
mañana, muy temprano. Y yo te estoy oyendo desde mi habitación. Hello everyone. Así que por favor, baja el volumen.
Sorry, sister came in to
Yeah.
tell me that I was being too loud. Where was I?
Okay.
Right. Yeah. It's that kind of memory. So it's like I don't have memories of like other games for the PS2. So I can't really tell you. Again, the main games I grew up with were DS, GBA, and Wii. For a really long time.
That would also be a good idea for Tism because I've played like also a Power Ranger PS2 game, which was also fucking great. There were so many fucking games
Yeah,
which
but I feel like
were not made by Sony.
the Tism segment that Meep did is like one person talks about one thing. What I've been stupid dogs. What I've been trying to do sometimes is I have an idea, a topic that I would like to discuss with other people, and most of the time I just don't even get to discuss with them, with y'all. Y'all are just like don't say anything. I'm just like, okay.
I mean, this like the last thing you've done is something we haven't touched it because I believe Mina wasn't there yet because it was something about music that you use for special situations. I believe. At least I remember
things like that. For example, you know, it's like that's what I like to talk. That's what I like to pivot in the Roomba sometimes between the real life segments, which again I feel like they're important to talk about because it's real life. It's not fantasy.
Yeah, true.
Tornado and Landslide, no escape from reality. But yeah,
But honestly, like the thing is, I still believe like you also can involve when it comes to autism afterwards, after the person has finished some discussion.
I have no idea
you have
what to do when it comes to myself to like do a autism thing. You know, it's like I feel like I don't have that.
You know,
I could just
no. You know what the first?
Make it full on.
No, I give you one idea that you have also mentioned, I believe, once at your stream, but still you really haven't done it probably as like as autism. You once have made a presentation about the history of consoles and stuff.
Yeah, but
that's
was
something you could do.
Yeah, I already explained it, but that wasn't. But that was like the presentation of the year, which took me 2 years to finish.
I mean, yeah, but you can do like one now, like it doesn't have to be like that deep, but still talk about it. Well, maybe the consoles that have influenced you the most, for example, would also be a good topic. Like the DS era, like the GBA era.
I'm just not that good at doing presentations, dude. Like I've always been like when it comes to a lot of things in life, I've always been of the mentality of fuck it with ball. Fuck it with ball. Improvise everything. Life is a circus, and you better know how to improvise moves.
Still, I feel like you could do one. Like it doesn't even have to be a presentation, but also just talk about it.
I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it.
Okay.
But
yeah, still, I believe
we've been going on for a while now with like half of the cast. So maybe we go recommendations, or do we want to end stream because y'all are tired?
I mean, I'm fine with doing my recommendations too.
Okay, Phil, what about you?
I was already done this one.
Oh, true. I'm done.
So if you don't have anyone, okay, you're done. Okay,
I'll
then I'm going to move in. Okay, so first of all, something that has been controversial, and I believe not. Okay, a lot of people have watched it, but still, is an anime. The reason why I say that it's probably a bit controversial is that it's not an anime about shonen or heroes or something. It's a sports anime. And something you already have heard about if you're a football fan. One of the newest ones. It's called Blue Lock.
Oh yeah, I've heard about Blue Lock.
Blue Lock, basically, how the starting plot is you have Isaki, who is tired of always his team losing because he gives the ball to the others. Which leads to him, since he didn't try to shoot the goal, to his teammate failing, and he starts to get frustrated by it. That's till he gets a letter from Blue Lock, like the organization. That is a new thing that has been established and funded by the football like national thing
Yeah.
from Japan at all. Of course, it plays in Japan, by the way. So yeah,
Of
it's
course,
also
that's
striking on the.
always, like sports anime are 99% of the time in Japan.
Yeah. I mean, in this case, it actually also moves out of Japan, which is also cool, but yeah. Yeah, and you know, Japan soccer is not comparable to like European or South American one. Like, it's like, you know, Japan did have a good thing, like a good run in the last World Championship, but still, they are not.
I think they qualified for like quarterfinals. They had like a Cinderella run.
Which, by the way, funny fact, that was why Blue Lock was running. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
I mean, thematic, I guess.
But overall, about which nations do you think when it comes to football? Spain, Germany, Brazil, Argentina. Not England. Fuck England. England should never win should never win.
When I think of nations for football, I think Argentina, Brazil,
yeah,
Germany, Italy, and Spain.
Oh, fair, yeah. Spain. Also,
and France
Netherlands.
Is good. And the Netherlands too. Yeah. I still remember when we won the World Championship against the Netherlands.
I mean, the last championship we won was the European one.
Wait. Also, didn't we beat Germany at one point too?
Okay, so that's also an interesting topic because you beat Germany, but there was also a very controversial referee decision made. So
there was a lot of weird things going in that Euro Cup, and England should not have been in the finals.
But honestly, I always say how it is. We can
all agree it should have been Netherlands, Spain.
Yes.
Even people from non-Netherlands would agree, except the British, the Brits. Not the Brits. Sorry. Great Britain has 3 teams for some reason. It's specifically England. England should not have been
specifically
finals.
England.
Fuck England.
And it should never be. It should never be there. But also, as an Austrian, I have to say one thing. I'm still proud of my team. That we have beaten the Netherlands team once. Which was also an amazing match, by the way. Like, basically, it was literally a fucking bloodlust thing that we had over there, but still. I always love when Netherlands and Austria are having a match because, like, just to put it in a perspective, we only won 4-3. But that was already 7 fucking goals being shot, so it's always like a battlefield. It's always a battlefield. But yeah. Again, okay, yeah, that's the nations you think about. But you would never think about Japan because Japan is like big in baseball, actually.
Yeah, it's more about like baseball. Baseball, and
yeah.
Like... Yeah, no, actually, just baseball.
Yeah, I would say more baseball. Yeah,
baseball and imaginary sports.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, that's why this plot is so interesting because you have a person who decides, okay, he says to the national team and stuff, I'm going to change everything. I'm going to make Japan one of the best countries. He's called Ego, by the way, and it's a reason why he's called Ego because a big topic is about he doesn't train like defensive or like middle defense or like goalkeepers at the start. He doesn't do that. He mails every striker like in like local teams and such. Of course. So it's just strikers. It's like, imagine Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, like those roles they play. It's like those types of people. Throughout Japan, he sends to Blue Lock. And the system of Blue Lock is you have over 300 strikers, yeah? And it's an elimination process. If you get eliminated, the consequence is you can never play for the national Japan team. Which, of course, is a bit exaggerated because people literally cry if they fail and stuff in the anime.
I mean, if that's your dream, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's like that dream to become the best striker of Japan, or maybe even in the world. But that is later on.
I'm just imagining the fucking, I want to be the very best, like no one ever was.
Yes, basically. That's basically the thing. Like, that's the main thing. And our protagonist is Isaki, which is average. He's pretty good. He's not the best. You have still like another character, Kunigami, who has orange hair and looks like Ichigo from fucking Bleach, by the way, for some fucking reason. Who is he's fucking physically strong. Like, he can literally push you aside and just fucking run. Like, he's the perfect fall guy. Like, he can literally break your nose. It's like, this guy you can't, like, get past him. Yeah, he's an aggressive striker. But still, actually, kind-hearted, which later on changes.
Of course, it's like the big fucking buff guy that is the hard gold. Of course.
You also have a character which is very important for the main character called Bachira, which has like his backstory is kind of sad because he never had anyone in his life that shared the passion with football as much as he did, and that led to him being lonely.
Mark Evans, hello, is that you?
Yeah, basically. And he started to imagine in air quotations, a monster that was actually able to keep up with his football, which, spoiler, later on in the anime, there are two guys, the main protagonist and his rival, which actually keep up to that speed and to that level of playing football.
Yeah, of course, the protagonist is the protagonist, how couldn't he?
Yeah, but his protagonist actually has very, like, big enemies. Like, it's later down the line, you have also one of the best strikers, guess from where he is, Michael Kaiser, Germany. Which is also a reference to the actual Kaiser of football, Franz Beckenbauer was his name. But yeah, and you have now, like, Battle Royale football at the start, basically. Like, you have a team full of strikers, one has no idea how to play as goalkeeper, because why should he? He's a fucking striker, and they literally have to play in teams. And as they advance slowly, they slowly get to the challenge of playing against the U19 national Japan football team. Mm-hmm. And brother in Christ, I know people can think that maybe watching sports anime can be boring, but Jesus fucking Christ, like, it's always displayed with, like, kind of powers what they do. Like, you have a fucking Shido, which is he's insane. He's insanity in person. Like, he literally walks up as an egoist towards the fucking goal and, like, literally does a fucking flip back and then shoots the fucking, like, ball into the goal. Like you literally have insanity happening.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. That's typical football anime stuff. That doesn't surprise me much.
Yeah, so it was exaggerated and stuff, but it's still on a level where I'd say it's fucking fun, even if you're not interested in football, because you have still character-wise differences. You have, like, conflicts, like, for example, Bachira's backstory is something, even if you don't love football, you can relate to, because you are lonely because you have a passion who others don't share. Back in the days, who were those guys? Gamers.
I was about to say, even then today, the day and age, the current, like, new gen gamers, and I saying this in heavy quotations, it's just normies that just bashed through the door and it's like, now this is how you're supposed to play video games, whatever you nerds were doing, which is what happens a lot of times, surprisingly.
Yeah. And nowadays it's fucking normal apparently, but meanwhile they don't know this bugs we've gone through.
Mind you, it shouldn't be normal.
Yeah. For example, also, which is interesting, that Kunigami guy I've mentioned, okay, that goes now to spoilers in manga, so worry, so be careful, but still, warning is ahead. He's kind-hearted at the start, but he gets eliminated, but he actually gets in back with a wildcard thing that happens. Actually, there are some people that can rejoin per wildcard. And he's different. Like, back before, he felt like a hero, and now he's like a villain. He plays viciously, he plays fully aggressive, he doesn't care about the other people, he's like a complete different...
he's not gonna let go of the chance again.
Yeah, because that's also a part of what many characters in that show, like, follow. It's like, literally you have... Like, Isaki isn't the only main protagonist.
It's everyone for himself.
Yeah, everyone is in a way a main protagonist because they all share the same dream. It's not like, you have, like, for example, in One Piece, Luffy, he wants to become Pirate King. There are, like, maybe two other guys that share this dream. No. Every one of the 169 players and even more remaining want to become the best striker or even the best striker of Japan. You have, like, a wave of people. And this is so exciting because that one is an egoist, that one is an egoist. You still have a few people that are not an egoist and say more like they want to become a team player, which is also interesting, and still manage to reach that goal.
Which, honestly, that should be the case. But, you know, whatever.
It's just... Yeah, it should be, but yeah. And in the end, you just like once that is not still in the anime sadly, but it will hopefully be soon. Is you have three like you have the main character, another very great striker, and another very great striker running up to the ball, and it depends on who shoots the goal. And in that moment, Isagi evolves, adapts, and does a fucking double volley before shooting it into the fucking goal, which is depicted as like a gun in the background, which is insane. Like you get insane plays and insane characters, which is just fucking great. Also, they all have different crazy hair colors because it's an anime.
Because
we still have
to spot the main character.
And Wu, of course, is one of the strongest and one of the like most beloved white hair guy, aka Nagi, the lazy genius.
Hey, white hair is cool. I like white hairs.
Yeah, white hair is cool, but I mean, once again, you have Goju, you have Kakashi, you have it's not like no Nagi, so yeah, there are a lot.
Not just in that specifically, just in general.
In general, white hair is actually very elegant and very fancy. I feel like.
And can also be very sexy.
But yeah, and once again, it would be not that great if everyone would have stayed a striker, because then you finally have different characters. You have like the best defender. He says, I don't care about your strikers, I'm going to be the best defender, and he keeps in like every fucking ball they shoot towards the goal. He's not the fucking goalkeeper, he's the defender, mind you. He still keeps the fucking ball out. He's everywhere where they literally are like being annoyed by him. Then you have insane goalkeepers who literally keep like there's a guy who also was a striker before, but he turns into one of the best goalkeepers. He keeps the ball away from the goal, which I always found.
No wonder you're down bad for Absol's, Darius.
Ah, Jesus Christ. Help me, bro. But yeah.
Also technically spin.
And he's
nothing but white hair.
Yeah, I'm going all around and they're all trying to fucking to distract me. Like,
look, white hair, dark skin is an absolute for characters. Just saying.
Yeah, especially for episodes. But yeah, also right, and this is like also what I love because I love goalkeepers. I've always been fascinated about them. But be in stress, like as a goalkeeper, and keep the ball away from your goal. For example, Manuel Neuer, one of the best goalkeepers. He was the captain of his team from Germany.
Yeah, a lot of goalkeepers end up being captains of their respective like national teams because they usually have a lot of pressure on themselves to make sure that it gets scored.
Yeah, especially in an era that we lately had, where like Messi and Ronaldo rivalry, which were both focused more like strikers. Goalkeepers were still fucking man.
Yeah, you had people like Casillas, like Neuer, like like fucking. Oh my god, I'm like. Oh my god, I'm slipping the name. The Italian goalkeeper.
Oh, I don't know currently, but I know who you mean.
I think it's Gianalgo.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. It's
Gianalgo, yeah.
An absolute fucking unit of goalkeeper. Like,
yeah, and I love that the anime
like felt like they were impenetrable walls, because you had again strikers like Messi, Ronaldo, you had Benzema, you had people
Neymar Jr.
Neymar Jr. is more modern era. What I'm thinking of is also like Eto'o or like Ronaldinho.
Oh, okay.
Ronaldinho,
yeah.
More my era. Okay, I know I'm a boomer when it comes to football, but it's
yeah, you are a boomer.
Like it's like when I think of those again, I think of a lot of players from Pro Evolution Soccer 6, and Ronaldinho, Eto'o, and Messi were the big three in the Barcelona team, and it's like again, it's also like one of the reasons why this apparently runs in the family. We've pulled in goalkeepers. The people that have played football have been goalkeepers or defenders. I've never been a striker. I guess I don't see the appeal. I've always been a goalkeeper or defender. Because,
I've been in the middle field.
I'm big guy. I'm pretty chunky. I'm not that fast, but I have pretty long legs, so defending is easier for me than shooting and scoring.
I had one guy which I would like that was fucking like 2 meters tall, and I swear to God, his legs could reach you everywhere. You didn't get past him.
Yep.
Well, except you were actually like fucking quick with your volleys and stuff.
When my friends called me back when I played football with people, they called me the ball, because a lot of the times the way I would steal a ball, it's like I would run up to someone because I'm so big, I think like they would get scared away and I would just kind of take the ball.
Okay, that would like honestly that feels like Barrow, but except the egoist part, because Barrow is sadly like okay. Put in perspective, Barrow is one of the most egoistic players. He calls himself the king. So like you can imagine how fucking egoistical he is. But like when it comes to like the playstyle, you get like you just menace on the field which just runs up. But yeah, without the egoistic part, of course.
Yeah. Again, I was just big guy that you know. Sometimes I did do. There was one time we were playing together. I put myself in front of the goal between the middle area, and they tried to like do a midfield shot at the start, and I just kind of kicked it. I just kind of raised my leg and kicked it back. While playing, that was kind of nutty. That was kind of fun. I have good memory. The people that I used to play with like all grew up to be kind of assholes. So I'm glad that I'm not with them anymore. But I had good times. You know, like I've heard stories about the things that they did, and they were not good. They were not good things. There were drugs involved. So, boy, it's a good thing
I can relate to that.
Boy, it's a good thing did, you know.
That is actually something I have to say. There was one guy who was actually pretty smart. He knew a lot about various topics. He was also pretty good in history and stuff. Mm-hmm. But he's then, like, sadly, he turned to drugs. And I mean the heavy ones. I mean chemical ones.
Yeah, like one of my friends had an opportunity to play in the
basketball match?
Like the basketball team for Valencia, the Valencia basketball, which is a pretty good team. So if he kept up like that, he could have probably, you know, secured himself a future. But eventually, I guess something happened and he couldn't make it. And well, all I know is that there were parties and there were drugs involved, and I did not want to deal with anything with that.
Yeah, of course. Once again, I have to put something there. I don't want to deal with that, but if those shitty drugs wouldn't exist, those people wouldn't have gotten to it. So I would say, yeah, they have their own fault, yes, but there are also sometimes circumstances which lead up to it. If that shit wouldn't exist.
That's the case. Knowing how they were, it didn't surprise me to learn about it, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I see. But yeah, back to the Blue Lock anime. Also, you have passers, for example. Crazy passers. No, don't worry. It's about this podcast is about yapping. It's a podcast. We have to yap.
True. Meanwhile, balls
and like the also in the idea box, mind you.
True.
You have great passers. There's like, what's his name? Sai. Yeah. He is also quite on top. Like he says, he's by the way for Spain team at the start, but he joins the national champion team to stop his little brother, which is disgusting, which is also the rival of like the main character.
That's funny.
And he makes insane passes. He's not like a striker. He literally like he gives you like the ball on the silver plate.
Then he's a good midfielder. Because midfielders, they can be like they can do good strikes. Like there's a lot of good midfielders that are more offensive oriented. Like Iniesta. Iniesta was an offensive oriented midfielder. Or Xavi Hernandez was also an offensive oriented midfielder.
Yeah. And that's what I especially love about this anime, because it may start with like strikers, yeah, to get you in, because let's be honest, most football casuals, who do they know? Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi. These days in the modern times they know what's his name again? The French player.
Mbappe.
Yeah, Mbappe. They know those ones, Neymar Jr. and stuff, but they never know goalkeepers, passers, defenders, and this is what makes this manga anime so great. It starts with strikers and it locks the casuals in and then shows, strikers are not the only important part of the team. Defenders,
it's a team.
Passers. Yeah. They are all like most of them are egoists. They still play like a team, and it's it's like shown wonderfully. Like in every match, there's like, okay, you have the MVP, of course, but still,
Yeah.
there is like, if you make a goal, you already can say, okay, this character, and this character needed to be there in order for that goal to exist. And mind you, it's not all strikers. You have like one striker, and then like a midfielder, like one that passes, a defender that even defended the goal before when the goalkeeper.
It's like usually there's a reason why usually teams aren't just all strikers and a goalkeeper. You know, most football like formations is usually like 4-3-2s or like 4-3. Wait, 4-3-2, 4. Hold on, 4-3-2. No, 4-3-3. Sorry, 4-3-3 or 4-3-2-1.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. There's always like a back line of defenders behind the goalkeeper. And shit like that. It's important. It's important to keep your team glued together. Because if you don't glue it, it's gonna fall apart.
Yes, exactly. And what also helps, once again, the manga and anime, is that this guy has done before in manga, which was sadly not animated, but was actually fucking great. He's actually shown an anime author, a mangaka. So he puts that essence into the sports manga too, which makes it just fucking great.
Forced to sports and forced to do sports manga.
Yes. Yeah, but he puts it lovely. Like you are always excited for each match, and currently they have like what's the English word? Like for example, what's the English? Okay, for example, Barcelona. What is Barcelona? FC Barcelona.
Just a club, the football. It's just a football club.
A club, yeah, club. Yeah, that's the word, club. And like you currently were like in the Neo-Egoist Liga. Once again, egoist is a big topic. Yeah, and now you go to fucking nation matches. So you like Japan now, you have now like eliminated one of the more weaker players. Now you have like probably the most strongest players, and now you have the fucking nation matches. You have
but it's
fucking
not nation. If you do nations, it's not the same thing as clubs.
Yeah, right, correctly. That's also, which is also displayed because, for example, Isaki was in a club called Bastard München, which, guess what? It's basically FC Bayern München, but just with Bastard replaced with Bayern, with Bavaria, which I just fucking love, that they just literally replaced Bavaria with Bastard. Bastard.
That's
Bastard
funny,
München. And you had like a German player there, you had the main character with the Japanese, Isaki there, and several others. And now you finally have the nations matches. And guess what? They have to Japan has now to play against France, Germany, Nigeria, which is also going to be interesting because that is also, I feel like, something that people miss. And it's also a critique, I should say. The French national team, for example. They may be French by nationality, but what also people always yeah, and it's also something.
Families.
Yeah, and what I always hate is when people say, only the Europeans and stuff can play. Bro, bullshit. The only reason why the African players, like most national teams, don't get that far is because most African players, because of the colonies and shit back then, they are in the England team, in the French team.
Yeah, they moved on to other teams because, especially with France and England, you're going to be better off being for those teams than for your own team. One of the few exceptions I can think of is Cameroon with Eto'o.
Oh yeah,
Eto'o played for the Cameroonese national team.
That's also what I have to say. Africa, like people that originate from Africa, one of the strongest moves they make is by deciding, no, I'm not going to play for whichever European national team that would fit in. I'm going to play for my national team where my family came from, which is insane. Those players, honestly, I respect them because they don't get as paid logically.
Yeah,
as
they don't get
European
as
teams.
They don't get as much spotlight shined on them as other teams would.
Yeah, which is also interesting because with the Nigeria team you actually have one star player. I don't know currently if he actually has also the possibility to get another nationality, but still in the anime you have a Nigerian player who is like the keystone, like he's the back of the Nigerian team.
Yeah.
And he fucking plays well, like he's insane. He can compare to the German one, the Michael Kaiser in the anime. He is that insane. Play for Nigeria. And this is what is maybe one of the best messages that this anime could do, and that is that just like, even if we have European and like South American supremacy in this case, sadly, there's still amazing players in Africa, in Asia, in North America, even I believe even like an USA player is probably fucking great
I'm sure
somewhere.
I'm sure there's like good USA players, but they don't.
Yeah.
But you don't think of football in USA. What do you think of when you think of the US? You think of American football, which is why the people call it soccer, and I hate it. I much rather prefer calling it football.
And also what we never should forget, for example, is the European teams will always be more well funded as fucking African teams because of the advantages we've gotten over the history.
And also because a lot of times, like, there are good American football players. The problem is they're all women and nobody cares about women's sports. True. That's also a very big problem, just like women's sports. Like,
also a good point. Yeah, women are also very great at fucking like football, for example.
We joke about in my family that Spanish like women's football is far more aggressive than male football.
I mean, makes a day, bro. They are going to fall more, but yeah.
No,
hey,
like they're
once
more
again
aggressive and shit like
that.
that.
One thing I'm going to say, I can already imagine. Meanwhile, the average male football player, I've been hit. Get him the red card. Meanwhile, the fucking female players, you want to start a fight in the middle of the field?
I was about to say, girl, you want to fucking go?
Are you approaching me?
Oh, get to the car.
So yeah. Oh, America actually won the Women's World Cup a couple of years ago. Yeah, okay. Then once again, USA Women's fucking W. You are fucking impressive. You are 10 times doing more than the fucking men, because the men have they even qualified in the last 20-30 years?
I think the USA has been in a few World Cups. I think they definitely were in the South Africa one, if I recall.
Okay, like, I mean, the next one, they are going to be actually qualified automatically because they're the host, alongside Canada and Africa next year.
Well, soccer, I got slightly breathed on, I'm dying. Female soccer, I can't beat the shit out of you without getting closer. Exactly.
Basically. But yeah, to close, actually.
We've really gone like just yapping about anything, huh? We're from the news into yapping. This is we're approaching 5 hours of Roomba today. I just want to say this is another really long Roomba because it kind of just started talking about everything and anything all at a time.
Because everything leads to everything.
Sure, that's why we call it Roomba Thought, because we hit a wall and then we start talking about something completely different.
But yeah, a short TLDR. Blue Lock is an amazing anime, except the season 2 because it's a bit worse animated, but the manga overall is flawless. It's great. If you are fucking interested in football, please fucking read or watch it, because it makes you sweat while you fucking like wait for like the fucking result. Like for it's comparable to actual football. Like when you watch your national team, it's 2-1. Maybe they're going to get a goal and it's maybe going to be a tie. So yeah,
like that.
As an Austrian especially, where I fucking wish that my national team is actually qualifying for the next championship after I don't know how many fucking years, I feel that and I love it. I love the thing to just be involved in a fucking match even though I'm not even there. But it's that magic of sport basically that I just fucking enjoy. But yeah, closing in that, I fucking recommend Blue Lock. It has also character development. It shows all the other sides, for example, sibling rivalries and how much a sibling can influence another one and how bad it can be. It can show you how loneliness can lead to a fucking frenzied passion that can be actually hurtful to yourself. It can show you how sometimes being selfless for your own team, or like in general, in situations where as a human community.
Dangerous. Being selfless is a very
Yeah.
dangerous thing to be because people
Yeah.
can sometimes think of that
Abuse
as
it.
as a source of abuse, like abusing you for their own
Yeah.
gains.
That's the thing. That's also once again displayed in the anime. And that's why the main character, I will say, he's not a good. Like he is technically in football terms once again.
He's not a nice guy.
Yeah, he's in football terms once again football itself. He is not a nice guy. He could actually be more compared to a fucking villain. But that's the point of like the anime. There are not a lot of good guys in the football. Like he doesn't murder someone. But he would break someone's dream over his own.
Yeah.
So you would still have to take that in account. He's not like the classic shonen protagonist. He still has like his own ego, and he's going to bury others.
You know,
as long
like
as it means
like
it's going.
like a lot of football players that have egos too big for themselves.
Yeah, Izaki Yuichi. Once again, I still love him as a protagonist because he's that complicated, but yeah. Okay, so let's close with Blue Lock. The other recommendation is going to be shorter, but it's a horror indie game that has actually released like a few days ago with an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
It works with your eyes. With your actually eyes in real life. If you have a camera, of course.
Uh-huh.
It works by blinking. So, for example, alone, like if you start the game, you have to close your eyes.
It blinks on itself.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus, that's
If you-
annoying.
If you blink in real life, you blink in the game, and of course, guess what? You have a crying angel as an enemy, basically.
Oh,
so it always moves when you blink, like SPP 173. Oh, 17. Yeah, I believe it was 173.
Yeah.
You also have to like if you die, you have to close your eyes for the level to load. And I've watched a YouTuber like close his eyes and he opens the game, the level and didn't still load, and he was like, "Bro, can you fucking load the fucking level? I've already closed my eyes for like several minutes." But it's an interesting concept because
the
bro,
concept
you
itself
have
seems pretty interesting. I don't think it would be for me, personally. I don't know. Too complicated. I'm also not into horror games.
Yeah, as a horror game fanatic, I love that concept because it has been tried, but not as good as with this game. And you also have a scenario you're getting chased, and then you have to like scan something, and you have to keep your eyes open. You don't even get the need to flinch. You have to be careful, and that's in a chase situation is extremely difficult, which puts like a lot of stress and interesting ideas into the game. I have to check in the name, but for whoever is interested in horror games, especially with interesting mechanics. Right. Okay, of course, I love that YouTuber because he never links the game actually.
Damn.
Wait, is it that game? No, that's not the game.
What am I missing in the turret interior? I'm missing the elevation
Yeah,
locks.
right.
Isn't this thing? Is that it?
Vigil. It's called Vigil.
Visual.
Right, I'm going to write it.
Makes sense that it's called like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to write it into the chat. Vigil.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, by the time, while we were talking about all of this, about Blue Lock, I started building basically from zero an M18 Hellcat. I'm 43% done building it. I'm only missing like the engine and the main, and the interior of the hull. Oh, look at this. I can peek inside it because I got the, like the shells themselves built for like $5,000, so I can just.
Well, we have already made breakfast for next room.
Time gear.
But yeah.
Timing.
That would have been my recommendations, but once again, soccer is also a topic. And in general, sports, rivalries, goals, and stuff, you can talk about it to like infinity, bro. Like, also that one Italian referee that has like a bald head, who has been
Yeah.
known as a fucking demon, will literally shut off players in an instant. You didn't want to fight him. He would have crushed you, basically.
Yeah, one thing I want to say there. He is in the cover for a few of the Pro Evolution Soccer games. He is like the cover character of the first.
Oh yeah, right. We talked about it. I remember we talked about it. Yeah, he's that insane, by the way.
He's that famous. Again, that's why Buffon, Gianluigi Buffon. There we go. I remember. Holy shit, what a fucking flash! But yeah, it's like Gianluigi Buffon is a very famous Italian goalkeeper.
Again,
I don't know. I always think of when I think of. Maybe it's because when I watched the news when I was a kid and I watched the sports, it was Milan, Juventus, Roma. I remember those teams more than the Paris Saint-Germain, the Olympique de Lyon, shit like that, you know. And of course, you have Bayern Munich and Bayern Leverkusen.
you have Bayern. You also have BVB Dortmund.
Yeah,
it's also a big one.
The big booty.
The BB. The big booty of Germany, Dortmund. Which also, by the way, I love it because there's an Austrian player called Sabitzer in it, and he's also a fucking goat. He's one of the strikers, basically. What do I... The reason why we say we don't want to see England, by the way, not win,
because
England...
They keep reminding the one time they won the World Championship. If that's the only thing they knew how to do.
That too, but also... I mean, I won't be saying that Germany is an angel in that department, nor that other countries are, but England is pretty much known in the football society as that one country that as soon as they fail something, or the club, that the main club the Englishmen believe in, if they just lose a match, they get violent. And I mean really violent.
They get very violent.
They get violent towards their own families. Back in the not the last, but the last after, before then, the European Championship where the Italians won against England. They even attacked Italian fans because sadly, the last game was in Wembley Stadium. Fuck Wembley Stadium. Fuck England, by the way, on that cause.
Yeah.
They have the most disgusting, horrible stadiums, bro. I just don't fucking understand why we even have less games there. But yeah, and also the Italians, every fucking European team outclasses the English team. Even fucking San Marino. Fucking prove me wrong. But I would send San Marino, and if they're on top of the game, they won 2-1 against fucking England. The 3-ass fucking Lions. More like 3-ass fucking donkeys. Fucking ass team, I swear. I hate the national team of England. I hate the fucking clubs. Not the people, once again, but the fans that literally hurt others over fucking football. And that's why we don't want them to win. And they will probably never will, because fuck them. Because everyone hates them.
Yep.
The classic joke.
They won one World Cup and it got to their heads.
Yeah. That's why no matter if it could be even Latvia, but if they somehow land at the final European Championship or fucking World Championship against England, they have to lock in and win the match.
Yeah,
that is how hard it is.
Yeah, it's you always want to see England lose, not the other way around.
Yeah,
if you're
always want them.
If you're an Englishman, you probably want England to win, but even then, fuck you. You know?
And also, yeah, exactly correctly what Meep said. English footballers, they get arrested at every World Cup, yeah, because they also don't know how to fucking behave themselves. They are literally the fucking disgusting piece of dirt on your fucking boot when it comes to football.
More or less, yeah.
Actually comparison, bro, they think more that their life is football as fucking the main characters of Blue Lock, which is, by the way, fucking insane.
It's incredible how just disruptive the English are. It's not. Let's not. There's a reason we say, by the way, chat. There's a reason we say the English and not the Brits, because Great Britain for some reason has 3 national teams. It has
Wales and Scotland are the other one.
Welsh. It has Scotland and it has England.
But yeah, once again, the Scottish ones are also a team. From what I've gathered, it's quite amazing to play like with them. They've also had quite cool matches.
Yeah, it's specifically England.
But for example,
exactly.
Yeah, it's specifically England. It's really like, and I mean, even European-wide, you also have like the what's the national? No, not the national team, the club where Mbappé was also playing. Paris Saint-Germain, right?
The Paris
That
Saint-Germain.
they also were. They were also a bit of insane heads, but at least they like blew up all their own half of the city. But they didn't harm anybody from what I've gathered. But for example, imagine Germany or Spain, or Spain would be like this, like when they had their match in the European Championship last time. Okay, Germany lost. Okay, it's fine. It still was a fucking great match to watch. We don't have to beat each other up.
When I heard that it was Kroos's final match, I was like kind of sad because I've heard that Kroos was an absolute fucking unit of a player.
Oh yeah, Tony Kroos was an insane player.
Tony Kroos
he was also
is a very good player. So it was sad to hear that was his last match and it was a loss, but at least
but
didn't he play in the Real Madrid for a few seasons?
Yeah, he was actually a Real Madrid stable, by the way.
Yeah, I have memories of Tony Kroos.
Yeah, Tony Kroos was a staple for Real Madrid.
Was it in like the CBB era too? Cristiano, Benzema, and Bale.
Yeah, he should be roughly in that era.
It's funny because when I think of Bale, I think of him just being injured because he was injured so often. He barely played matches. It's very funny to think about. So
also, we do have currently an Austrian player. I don't know if you know him, but Alaba, which is also the entire time injured.
Also,
he's still in Real Madrid.
I think I'm forgetting that I said it the wrong way. It's not the CBB, it's the BBC, because it's Benzema, Bale, Cristiano. Of course, you have Cristiano as the last one because it's fucking Cristiano Ronaldo.
I mean, your current what's your Spanish talent? Yamin Yamal, right? Is currently the
Yamal, and he's in Barcelona. He's in the Barca.
Yeah, he's Barca, okay. But I remember they played against Cristiano Ronaldo, and there was like, they won, like the team where Cristiano was in, and then memes started, like where Cristiano Ronaldo stands above Jimmy Yamal, and he's like, "Hey, you're not old enough yet to actually know the game."
Stand proud.
Get down.
You're strong.
Yes, stand proud. Yeah, that was also one of them. Stand proud. You're strong. Which fair. But once again, I love Cristiano Ronaldo, but as we all know, as of current, Messi has won the rivalry because he has the World Championship.
For me, one of the biggest football rivalries was Messi Cristiano. Like there wasn't. I don't think there has been a rivalry like those two ever since.
Yeah, no, there hasn't.
At least I can think of there's been great football players, but there's not like this constant back and forth of like people discussing, because it also reminder they were like in the 2 biggest, I don't want to say this in a like selfish egotistical way, but to say that the Football Club Barcelona and Real Madrid are some of, if not the biggest football teams ever.
You mean Barcelona and you mean Real Madrid?
Yeah, Real Madrid. They're like the 2 biggest teams ever.
Yeah,
They've always been like at the top of the world, basically. They're not, sometimes they don't play the best, but that's any team. But when you think of football, some of the teams you think of are those 2.
Yeah, it's those 2, and actually at max, at least maybe, let's say Bayern Munich. But that's about it. Those are the 3 teams you think about.
Yeah, absolutely. You think of those 3, maybe PSG.
Yeah, good. They actually
maybe
lately
PSG.
got better.
Because still, I remember when Ibrahimovic was in the PSG.
Oh yeah, true.
That was a while ago, but he was putting in work for the PSG, for the Paris Saint-Germain.
That's true.
Like it's people like him, you know, that's like, yeah, you remember a team because of a player. It's not the it's never the opposite, except for those three. For Madrid, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich.
Yeah, but when you like back when, imagine just think about the times when, like, at least when I grew up, I don't know. Yeah, no, you also grew up.
I mean, we grew up in the same
rivalry, bro. Messi, FC Barcelona, if I remember correctly. Yeah, of course I remember correctly. And Cristiano Ronaldo were Real Madrid. Every time they got into a match, they were fucking heated, and they had the eyes on them focused.
Yeah, of course. Again, they're like the two biggest strikers of their respective era. Of course, they would be
in the two biggest clubs.
Again, yeah, in the two biggest clubs of Spain and definitely Europe, maybe the world.
Yeah.
Again, I don't say this like wanting to like pat myself in the back because I'm Spanish and they were in my country. It's just facts, you know. It's like,
I mean, as an Austrian, I can literally take out the neutral card and be like, yeah, it's true. They are the two biggest ones.
It just be like that, you know. Again, I wasn't a striker guy. I was a goalkeeper guy. And even I knew that, yeah, no, these two are like the biggest things in football for a long time, because they are. Messi and Cristiano have been for a really long time. There's a reason why Cristiano Ronaldo is in a fighting game.
Yeah, he's insane. He's also, let alone, like, he also had, like, him and Messi also had a lot of cultural influence. For example, nearly everyone knows that. It's one of the biggest cheering victory poses you know.
And where did that come from? Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, but I have to say one thing. Actually, in Blue Lock, and that's why I know the mangaka is a Messi fan. The one person that is referred to as the best player has a name that sounds roughly like Messi. So yeah.
I mean, I was a Messi fan more than Cristiano, because I grew up. Reminder that Cristiano came into the Spanish league after Messi, so I remember Messi for longer than Cristiano, because before getting into Real Madrid, Cristiano first was in Liverpool, if I recall.
You know,
Liverpool
I
or Manchester United. It was one of the two, like, red decorated.
Yeah,
English
it's one
teams.
of the bigger English teams. Yeah. One thing I'm going to say is, it's fitting. It's already fitting when it comes to the national teams, because Messi still was, of course, a bit egoistic. He was a striker, but he still played together well with his team. While Cristiano was always a carry.
Well,
so the thing, not in Real Madrid, of course. I mean, like with Portugal. I mean, in Portugal.
Yeah, with Portugal, he has been a bit of a carry.
In Real Madrid, he was also one of the players that always stood out. Yeah, because the thing is, in Real Madrid,
in Real Madrid, you have players like back at the time. You had people like Benzema, which was at the time a really strong scorer. You had people like Marcelo, which was an incredible defender. He was like one of the lateral guys, and he was really good at his game. You had people like Casillas, which, in my personal opinion, and this is my opinion, he is, and forever will be, the best goalkeeper ever. Like, I always, like, when I was a kid, the player I dreamed of becoming, if I ever, became big in football, was Casillas. Iker Casillas, the goal. He was my goat,
Yeah, it's basically for you, that's the guy, and in Germany and Austria, it's like Neuer's.
Yeah, it's
Neuer.
It's Neuer.
Yeah.
Which I've also heard. Okay, maybe I'm misremembering. Is Neuer the guy with the head, with like the hat, like the protective gear?
What do you mean with protective gear? Like,
isn't there like a very famous goalkeeper that has? No, I think that's a Czech. Goalkeeper.
Yeah, that will be a Czech. Like, when it comes to the head area, he didn't have any protection, no.
Yeah, I know there was a goalkeeper. That's the one I'm thinking of. I don't really think of Manuel Neuer now that I think about it.
I mean, the thing is, soccer. No, oh God, I've said soccer. Please, someone hit me. I mean, football. Football goes so deep that you have a Romanian player, national player, who is known for dyeing his hair color based on the Saiyajin forms of Dragon Ball and like Goku, which I also find fucking cool.
That's funny as hell.
You also have like lately a lot of football players became anime fans. You have like literally, speaking of Blue Lock,
Yeah,
a few fucking football players forced them.
Because a lot of younger players may have grown up watching those things, you know?
Yeah, because it's like gaming, anime also slowly became cool. That's the thing. It becomes more mainstream nowadays,
Yeah,
except the
absolutely.
more weird ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, best example, and a lot of people won't know JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen. But back when I was like, let's say like a few years ago, I already watched the first season and I was like, yeah, it's cool. I read the manga. And then a few years ago, I look around, I walk around people and I hear talk them about Jujutsu Kaisen, some kids. Like, I'm like, okay, it's starting to slowly get popular.
I remember, it's funny you mentioned Jujutsu Kaisen specifically, because I remember when I was in France, I think I've talked about this, the fact that I bought a Pokemon bag, like a shopping bag, from Super. There was a Jujutsu Kaisen bag too, and a Naruto bag.
Yes.
Like there were multiple animes, and one of them was Jujutsu Kaisen.
It's like, Jujutsu Kaisen is, hell, it's not the best anime in my opinion, because I've watched a lot. But it was generational because it brought a lot of people into the anime game.
Yeah. Again, I agree with you. It's not like the best anime ever, but I've heard good things about Jujutsu Kaisen. So I have not watched it, so I can't, say, oh, I think this is a good anime, or oh, I think this is a bad anime. All I know is I've heard good things about it. So
yeah, it's fun, it's cool, and once again,
it's also a little bit over the top, if I recall, if I've heard correctly.
Yeah, it's over the top, it's fucking fun, it's everything, and you have Gojo and Sukuna. Sukuna is the one with like the 4 eyes, and Gojo is the white-haired guy who is the strongest, the honored one.
Between heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one. Type shit. Which, by the way, badass line.
And you have,
I will say that is a very reforming
it's also
line. It's very cool.
Yeah, and it's one from Buddhism, and that's why I'm also very interested in Buddhism, because Buddhism has heavy lines. Like, bro, I swear to God, just as you said, between heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one is one of the sickest.
It's a very good one.
And once again, as a manga reader, and there was already an animation about the fight, Gojo vs Sukuna will go down as one of the best anime fights, if not the best in history. Because the mangaka may struggle with a few world-building, character developments and such, but if they can do one thing, then it's that fight. Yeah, that fight in particular. You have 1 2 fucking strong guys who just go fucking all out. Like, they literally... Oh, it's amazing.
They fight like... Have you ever fought with your life on the line?
Basically.
Have you ever played Google Babies with your life on the line?
Basically, yeah.
Uma Musume never change.
Like, Gojo versus Sukuna is going to be like Goku versus Frieza for this generation.
Not even Goku versus Frieza. I think it's Goku versus Vegeta. When I think of Dragon Ball Z fights, I think of the Saiyan Saga Goku versus Vegeta fight. Because it's like, they're technically the same species, like Sukuna and Gogeta are both humans, right? Or am I bullshitting out of my ass here? Because I've never watched.
No. The Sukuna technically is a human who has started to be something different, but it fits. They're both sorcerers. They're both the same type, basically. Yeah, it fits. They're not curses. Like, it fits. Yeah.
Okay. I think I fucked up there.
And Jesus Christ, I'm going to be hyped up for that. But yeah.
That'd be everything.
One more recommendation, and this is going to be my last one. Fucking
Just stop now.
Nah, go for it. Let me finish this. I'm 18. Hellcat. I'm already nearly done.
I can cover you.
Yeah. So, what's your last recommendation, Darius? I have like a minute. So you
fuck England.
You have time. What?
Yeah, it was fuck England.
Lint? Oh, fuck England.
The national team.
I thought you were actually going to give another recommendation. Oops. So, I don't really have recommendation apart from what I've. It's like I've been playing a lot of things lately that I would recommend, but I've already recommended before, like Balatro, Umami. I need to go to the bathroom really quickly. I'll be right back.
Honestly, there's one thing I have to see you talk about on Roomba, then you finish it, and I have to hear it, and that is when you finish Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, and I want you to yap about it till infinity, because I'm going to also yap about it till infinity, because that game is one of my favorites and has one of my most beloved main characters in it. Fucking Zack Fair. Oh, he's gone. Okay. Yeah, what even is the longest Roomba episode? Have you already cleared the record?
I wouldn't be surprised if this went up to 6 hours. What did you say the same, Darius?
What?
I think it wouldn't be surprised if we got 6 hours.
Yeah, true. That's 6 hours, damn.
I feel like it went on for 6.
No, it has been probably, yeah, roughly. It has been at least 5. But
At
I don't know
least
if
5. But I think that 6th one came in because of the fact that, you just went into complete Roomba mode.
Yeah, the thing is, when it comes, like, I'm not a train war person. I don't know about train stuff. I don't know about firefighting stuff. I don't know about what's the other thing? Ship things. But when it comes to like anime, when it comes to like games, when it comes to cultures and stuff, bro, history, I go insane. I start talking about it till infinity. While he's away, do I have any other recommendation to fill in the void? That's quite short actually, because it's slowly time to end. Don't believe so. I guess I have a question for you both.
Yep.
What's your favorite food?
What? Favorite food?
Yes. On the top of your head. What is something you could eat every day? Of course, not like a month long, but like, let's say 1 week or so, and you still wouldn't get tired by the type of meal.
I guess it would be something simple and fries.
Fries?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense actually. It makes actually sense, yeah.
What about you?
I also have to pick a national one, and it will always stay schnitzel, bro. Schnitzel, and Italian one pizza, but schnitzel. Christ,
Only one.
Yeah, schnitzel. Schnitzel wins.
You're gonna go for the schnitzel.
Yeah, I'm going to go for schnitzel because I fucking love pizza, yes, but schnitzel is so simple with so more less ingredients than a pizza, and still wins it. It's actually insane how often I could eat it. Like, bro, people can have the strongest military in the world. I'm already glad my country is known for schnitzel. That's already the biggest achievement. I'm done. That's the biggest achievement.
That's it.
And I'm glad it is.
100 years of peace. And what did they make? The cuckoo clock. You know where that's from, right? That is an old movie. Also, ladies and gentlemen, from a haul, I bought the most basic pieces of the Hellcat. I built my own Hellcat. I built the Hellcat from scratch. I would say from scratch, but I did buy a bunch of rusty parts for very cheap. But I made a Hellcat, so fun. I'm gonna do one more run of the compound for straps, and if no one... by the way, just really randomly, I was on my phone right now, and I remember the game for a while back. Do y'all still play Clash of Clans?
I have it installed.
I have
haven't touched it in a long while though.
You should probably check
I
it.
have-
You probably get to like upgrading a lot of things.
Yeah, my friend group is big in Clash Royale and Clash of Clans.
I
But
tried
then
getting
I
into
was
Clash
only big in
Royale.
Clash Royale.
I tried getting into Clash Royale, but that wasn't for me. I much prefer the more laid-back building aspect of Clash of Clans. And also just
I don't know if
Also, just sending a bajillion dragons to destroy a village is funny.
yeah.
That's why my troops
you know what
consist of mostly dragons and like the balloons.
One of the most popular memes in Germany and Austria is nobody says anything or somebody has just asked an important question. The one person doesn't answer and you suddenly hear from like the phone
Yeah, the
fucking the
Supercell-
Clash of Clans
the
or Clash
Supercell,
Royale
yeah.
starts on.
The Supercell startup.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun.
It's such a good
It's
meme.
still like this day and age. It still holds up nicely. Like other older
Hold up.
phone games don't hold up like Clash of Clans or Clash Royale do. Like look at Angry Birds.
Only one.
Look at what
Only
Angry
one.
Birds became.
And that's Yeah, okay, fair, but Subway servers still holds
I've
up.
never played Subway Surfers. I know
It does hold up, and do you know why?
I know what Subway Surfers
Because-
is, but I've never played it.
It holds up because you have like the meme of overstimulation and that people can't pay attention anymore.
Yeah,
You always see like on the right screen, Subway servers.
So that is a meme. Right, let's fuck it. Let's paint the Hellcat. Let's see what we can paint this tank. Also, I love the fact that I can just paint a tank like completely whack ass colors.
Also, there's a question I have for you, Jimmy. What even is the longest episode of fucking Roomba?
It might be this one. It very might well. Well, I'd say
I
this
think
one.
it became this one because of that massive rant he went on.
I wouldn't say rant. He was just enjoying the.
Honestly, it was
Chat.
it was my combination between me talking about Blue Lock and then Jimmy also knowing about soccer too. So yeah, football.
Chat.
Jesus.
The purple Hellcat. You know, bro.
That's the second
Also-
time you do it, Darius. Stop.
Also, you had the Meeptism
True.
this time, which was a new segment, which also was very. Boy, he did like presented 15 minutes. That's nearly a fucking hour. So I also have that. Plus all of his information about the world, so he's like a big part.
Guys, one of the colors you can choose is called Cheems. Wait, I think I saved it. I think that's when I saved the Cheems.
Your ball is like trying to get to sleep finally, and we're
I mean,
still
you can, go,
holding
you,
him.
can, you can go to sleep if you want, but we're not holding you hostage.
Yes, you are, because I gotta do this thing that I always say at the end of the Roomba.
Thank you for all the fish.
Or in my case nowadays, thanks for all the cheese.
Jeez. Hold on, let me just really quickly find something funny to put on this.
One day, Bolt. When both me and you have a free day on Monday, I'm going to stretch it out till I don't know when.
Guys, look at this abomination I made. I love it.
I will die if you do that.
Look at this
Jesus
absolute
Christ.
abomination of a Hellcat. But I made it, so fuck it. It's alright. Let me just really quickly get the achievement for putting the Hellcat on the. Oh, I already have a Hellcat on the. Oh, I already have a Hellcat in the museum. I definitely put one on the museum then. Oh, we're gonna switch it for this abomination. Museum, next, Jumbo, Calliope, Half-Track, Tiger, M18 Hellcat, yep. I do have a plain Jane. Oh, wait. Why did I. Chad, I painted both Hellcats. Why the Hellcat specifically? You know what, whatever. We're not gonna end stream here. So, it's been quite the day today. It's been a really long Roomba. We even got a crash in the middle of it. So, there's 2 Roombas today. Did we do Roomba 2 weeks ago? Or was it just last week? If
We did
everyone
Roomba
remembers.
last week ago.
Yeah, but did we do one 2 weeks ago, or was that when I was in France still?
No, 2 weeks ago was in France.
Okay.
We've had last Roomba where Meep was quick on like reporting everything what he has
Uh,
Yeah,
in like 3
you were in
weeks.
France 2 weeks ago.
And then now we had this one.
well, I think I know who I'm going to. I think I know who I'm going to raid. We're going to raid Chubulus. Apparently, they're a Sprigatito VTuber. I think that's a Sprigatito. They're currently playing the Eureka mod in Super Mario 64, which is fun. I played that mod, and I also played as a Sprigatito. Oh, not a Sprigatito, a Floragato. Anyway, Chubulus. There we go. It's been an absolute pleasure, gentlemen. It's the GT4 Roomba stream music is like 2/3 of the way through. It's more than halfway through on the second run, so we've been here for a while. So yeah, it's been a while. Tomorrow it's back to regular Monday schedules. No more Soling, sadly. So we'll probably do Mario 64 co-op. If not, I'll maybe do Mario Kart DS again. It's been a while since I've done that. Apart from that, I don't think there's any days. Do you have any problems on Tuesday for BMD next week?
No, next week should be fun.
Cool. All right. So hopefully the ad ends or like it stops buffering and I can rate this person. So thank you so much everyone for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye bye. And thank you so much for playing my
Thanks
game.
for all the cheese.
Bye.
All right. I'm still stuck.
Thanks
on
for
that.
all the
I'm
cheese.
still stuck on ads. God damn it. Well, bye. All right. The raid is off.